Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, get in there, talk about www.com, you got them naked chicks on there, man, you go click, 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 it's real easy, man.
If you're going to listen to my radio show, there's one way.
Retard. Traffic. And we do that because we don't have a website, and we haven't had a website for so long, I can't even count the days. We just don't have one. In fact, we've never had one.
Commercial pilots, we'll find out later on. With us is Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police, and I know that Jay, Project Safe Street has been gearing up for the last week. Thanks for joining us and talking to us about it.
Always a pleasure, Phil. Thank you.
Project Safe Street, as I mentioned, has been gearing up. And this is, first of all, this time of year is good because there's a lot of pedestrians out, right?
That is correct, Phil. The weather's warming up around the country. There's going to be a lot of people out on the streets. We're going to be engaging citizens in Project Safe Street. We want people to know how to deal with any situation having to do with a random street crime. And if and when they are accosted by an individual who's intent on some form of robbery or assault, we are going to be there to try and give them some ideas to what to expect and to how to deal with that situation.
All right, now who came up with the program again?
This is with the assistance of Director of the Citizens Auxiliary Police, Major Elvis Newton. We worked up a program that's probably more effective, I think, than anything the police have been able to create up to this point. And
now, the Citizens Auxiliary Police, you're essentially a volunteer group without any real police power, is that correct?
Well, Phil, I think you need to read your Constitution because we do have the right to citizen's arrest. We are also fully uniformed. We are identified with a blue armband. We wear a pit-style helmet. And that lets people know that we are auxiliary police officers on assignment. And we will be on assignment with Project Safe Street.
All right, let's talk about Project Safe Street and how this will be implemented. What happens? Who is targeted? What are people going to learn from this?
Well, we will have groups of sub-commanders in the area and around theater, restaurants, and so forth, mostly in the major mall areas. When our officers see a couple, and whether that's a man or a woman, or it could be two men, two women, what have you, whether they are near people or not, it doesn't matter because still a lot of robberies, a lot of assaults, and so forth take place now. Near people. I mean, the average criminal has become so much more bold. The average thug has become so much more bold. We have to get people prepared for any eventuality.
So you approach people on the street, correct?
Our sub-commanders do, yes.
Okay, if there are a couple of people walking anywhere around these theaters and restaurants.
That is right, and we will approach in a non-identification mode. And we want people to know that we will, which means we are not identifying ourselves as auxiliary police officers, even though we are in uniform. And there are three paradigm programs, Phil, that the average person might face. And those three paradigm programs that we work up are robbery, assault, with no intention of robbery, just an assault situation, and God forbid, I think the worst possible situation for anybody is rape. And
so you approach people in one of these three attitudes, is that right?
That is correct. And I'll give you an example. If we approach in a robbery attitude, we walk up to the couple, we produce a simulated weapon. Now, this is generally a hand-style, prop-style gun. Most of these have the orange tip on the barrel, so you know it's not a real gun. We have taped that over, but we remove the tape after the demonstration is over with.
Now, do people know that this is a demonstration?
Initially, no, because the purpose is to give people a sense and really the feeling of, and the experience of going through this. And this is something that the police don't dare try because they're afraid of, I think they're probably afraid of getting complaints from all these liberal politicians. But in our case, our purpose is to save lives. And we've got to save lives by giving people that initial experience.
All right, so you approach people in this robbery attitude. You have this prop-style gun.
That is correct. One of the officers will swing around behind one of the individuals. They will then commence to pin or secure that individual's arms behind them. The officer who is holding the prop weapon will then explain that this is a robbery and to hand over their wallets and so forth. Now, once that has been done, we then take it a step higher. Again, to give the individual an expectation of what can happen in real robbery. And we inform both of the individuals at that point that we intend at that time to shoot them.
Jesus.
Again, Phil, what our purpose is to create a reality here, and to create the reality, we have to do that.
God, you tell them that they're going to be shot.
That is correct. We inform them to get on their knees. We then walk around behind them as if they are going to be shot execution style. We will pull the trigger so that the hammer can be heard clicking, and then we give it a couple of beats, and then we inform them this has been a demonstration.
Good God, you got to give people a heart attack, though.
Well, I can tell you, we haven't given anybody a heart attack yet. What we have found are people, after their initial shock, are grateful for the experience. We give them some brochures, give them information on how to walk safely in the streets, give them a tip of the pith helmet, and they're on their way. But this is the only way that we've found. If you know a better way of how to prepare people for crime.
Well, now, if I could bring up, Jay, an incident last year. You were on our program. You were talking about the simulation of home invasion and rape, where officers you had the officers, going through this to the point where they were beginning to remove their clothes.
That is correct, and that is one of our programs that I think is prepared all women for what can be.
Yeah, but the complaints. And the other thing is, you kind of run afoul of the police sometimes, don't you, when you're implementing a program as radical as this?
Well, again, Phil, the police have not been able to do anything to stop this kind of thing. Auxiliary police officers all over the country. When we get off of work, whether we're salesmen or whether we're, in my case, I work security for a utility company, and we go home and we get in, put on our pith helmet, we get into our cruise vehicle. We're serious about helping our neighborhood, and it's the only way that.
All right, so you're approaching people, pinning their arms, getting their wallets, purses, getting them on their knees, walking around behind them as if you're going to shoot them execution style. You inform them they're going to be shot. You click the hammer on the gun.
That's correct, yes.
And then you tell them this has been a demonstration with the Citizens Auxiliary Police. And you haven't had anybody have a heart attack or get angry.
Well, you get a few people get a little, you get amused. You get a few people get a little hot under the collar. But what happens, Phil, as I said, after we calm them down, and we have certainly methods, ways in which to talk to people to just kind of calm them down. And then we tell them we're Citizens Auxiliary Police. We hand them some brochures. And we've had most people shake our hands, thank us.
Jay Santos is with me from the Citizens Auxiliary Police, and our number tonight here, 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. You listen to the Phil Hendrie Show. Jay is you're at a substation of sorts, right?
That's correct. We have a radio that we monitor on this part, utilizing any one of the different substation locales.
All right, 1-800-449-8686 on Project Safe Street.
We don't call it an operation per se. When we go out into the street, when we begin this interdiction, that is the operation. But the overall program is a project.
All right, we heard the robbery, and you mentioned there are three paradigms. One of them is also rape. Now, this goes back to what your organization did last year.
This is much different, Phil. This is involving our subcommanders who are simulating or creating a reality as an attempted rape out in public, as opposed to home invasion, which was what we simulated last year. And this is a very traumatic and yet very educational and very valuable experience for a young lady. If we do identify young ladies walking by herself or two young ladies walking by themselves, and in some cases, and you can get people joking about this, but it's not a joke, men can be assaulted this way too, Phil. We then approach in a rape attitude, or what we call a rape paradigm. We will go up to the individual, and again, the initial stages are the same, where the young lady's arms are pinned behind her, and then at that time, if she's wearing pants, we begin to undo her pants. And again, a lot of people say, well, this is how you get your kicks. No, this is not how we get our kicks. This is how we try to inform them of what can happen. And
boy, you can get into a lawsuit with that.
Well, no, you can't, because we don't remove any clothing. But all we do is unbuckle, for instance, pants, we undo the first button and begin to pull the zipper down, and then that's it.
Unless she's wearing a dress.
Well, it's the same situation. If she's wearing a dress, what we do is we reach up on the dress and begin to roll the pantyhose down, but only 2 rolls, and then we stop. And
is she then informed at that point that?
No, what we do then is we will say, we want to take you into a more secluded area. And we say, we're both going to rape you. And we then try to, find an alley. If there's no alley, we'll take her over to the sub-commander van and put her in the back, close the doors, and begin to drive away. At that point, then we tell her, this has been a Project Safe Street simulated rape scene. And
good God, we got to scare somebody half to death. You got to put a woman in the car, and
well, again, Phil, there's nothing going on. There has been an attempted assault. There has not been any attempt to take her further than maybe 20 feet away from where her car was. But as we're driving away, you see the panic. The woman knows what's going on. At that time, then we say, this has been a Citizens Auxiliary Police simulated rape program, and we'd like to give you some brochures. And
was there a girl by the name of Carol Dunlap who was interdicted in this manner a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, that's correct. Well, what happened with Ms. Dunlap, I think, was overstated.
Well, apparently she said she was dropped off after you guys drove 20 feet, but she said her blouse was unbuttoned and her dress was falling down, and there were witnesses who said that she'd gotten out of the van looking disheveled and pulling her pants up.
No, that's what happened in that situation is one of the buttons popped on her pants, and I didn't know it until afterwards. I looked in the rearview mirror, and I could see that she was attempting to pull her pants up, and I said to Sub-Commander Waldorf, and he informed me.
All right, 1-800-449-8686 here on the Phil Hendrie Show. I got to tell you, Jay, that this is a program that, however well it prepares people for the real thing, has got to scare them half to death.
Phil, let me ask you, and I'll ask your listeners the same question. The United States military does similar activity when it comes to preparing soldiers for a prisoner of war camp, for instance. The U.S. military also does similar activity when it comes to preparing soldiers for survival in the bush, as they say, or survival when you're separated from the unit. The military's been doing this kind of simulated activity for decades. The Citizens Auxiliary Police has simply taken a military method of preparing the citizen for what could very well be a moment that could end their lives and try to give them a chance to survive it. And
all right, but picking a woman up and unbuttoning her pants and carrying her away and informing her she's going to be raped, again, you're going to scare her half to death.
But do you know of a better way to get a woman acquainted with the brutal reality of what that could all be, which is rape on account of a guy wanting to, do that. So that's the thing that, and again, I don't know of anything, in my experience, my 15 years law enforcement experience, prepares a citizen for the real thing.
All right, Jay Santos joins us from the Citizens Auxiliary Police. It is Project Safe Street ongoing now. Citizens Auxiliary Police officers simulate robbery, rape, and assault on citizens who are unaware that these guys are volunteer police officers until which time they inform them. But sometimes the simulation goes on to, in the case of the robbery, people are forced down onto their knees, and the prop pistol, the hammer is clicked. The trigger is pulled, and the hammer is clicked. At that time, then they are told that it's a simulation. In the case of the rape, women have their buttons undone and their pantyhose rolled down, and then, after being taken 20 feet in a truck, told that it's a simulation. Jay says that, yeah, people get angry, but then after they're told what it's about, they wind up grateful. They take the brochures and a little bit more educated. I personally don't know whether it's anything worth putting people through. I'm sure we should be prepared, but there's got to be better ways. 1-800-449-8686. This is the world-famous Phil Hendrie Show. We'll be right back.
The Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. It's not news. It's the Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
We're back here with Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police on the Project Safe Street, which the Citizens Auxiliary Police have undertaken over the last week. In it, they approach individuals and simulate one of three what you call paradigm programs, right, Jay?
That's correct, Phil. We call it a paradigm program because it's really it's simulation, but we do try to utilize a paradigm and standard robbery, assault, rape, and in so doing, individuals are then informed and prepared for the eventuality of a crime being committed against them, whether it be robbery, assault.
What is the program for assault?
With assault, it's a little easier. You walk up the individual and basically inform them that they had offended you at some period, and most of the time they don't remember how, when, or what. And you just tell them that it can be anything. You say that, well, you called my wife a dirty name, you call me a fag, or whatever language of the street. Pardon my language.
All right.
But whatever language of the street, and then you inform them at that time that you are about to, to use the parlance, kick their ass or whatever. At that time, they are informed that they're about to have their ass kicked. And then we make as if we're going to strike the individual, and that can happen in any one three ways. In one scenario, one of the auxiliary police officers go around behind the person, so that person turns to see what he's doing, and then you make as if you're going to throw a pretty good punch. When that person goes to block the punch, and the person behind goes to as if he's going to throw a punch, and then he'll go to block that punch. We never really make contact. And
yeah, because if you hit the person, you'd be breaking the law, wouldn't you?
Well, the jury's out on that. I think there's a couple of scenarios on that. I could probably, as a volunteer police officer trying to protect my community from, and of course there's a state of national emergency right now with 9/11, I probably could get away with hitting a person and then telling, if this individual wanted to bring a civil action, telling the court that it was my understanding that, this person was going to assault me or whatever. I don't really want to get into that, but the point is, we'll pretend as if we're going to hit this guy, but we never really do. And then we'll tell him, well, this has been our assault paradigm.
And these, so you say you've had a lot of people get angry, but they walk away generally satisfied after you give them the brochure.
That is correct.
Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police on simulating but never going through the act of raping, assaulting, or robbing people to help them be better prepared for the real thing. 1-800-449-8686 here on the Phil Hendrie Show. Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, in a situation when you come up and you do this, what if this person is armed? I'm a private investigator. I carry a gun. My investigators carry guns. If you come up, you go to assault me, or you go to assault myself and someone else,
we're able to maneuver
a gun.
We're able to maneuver in such ways so as to disarm anybody who has a weapon of that sort.
And you're willing to take a chance. You're willing to take a chance of somebody pulling a gun out and shooting you.
Well,
or shooting someone else.
We have a weapon as well. You don't know it's a prop, but it's a prop weapon. And if I bring that gun up and put it in, press it against one of your eyeballs, it's very unlikely you're going to be reaching for your gun.
Well, I understand that. And you say, well, you walk up in front and this person walks up behind. Again, I was in the military. I also was an auxiliary police officer. I'm firearms trained. If I see somebody reaching into a belt and I even see a gun coming out, I'm going to be pulling mine out as well.
Well, you never.
So, I look in a situation like this. I understand what you're trying to do.
You say you're an auxiliary police officer?
I was a reserve officer for 5 years.
Reserve police officer. We do it in such a way, so we have what we call 3 to 5 different, we call them the dance step. We have 5 dance steps.
What does that mean, dance steps?
They're just different ways of shuffling, moving our feet, as if a boxer might move his feet, and it befuddles the individual. So Greg, to answer your question, you'd be thoroughly befuddled.
Well, I'm glad you're confident about these things, but I've been in enough situations, and I'm sure you have too.
Right.
That as predictable as you want to make this seem, it's very unpredictable. If you go into a race, we carry tasers as well. I mean, in a situation, if I see you
what kind of private investigation?
Somebody else.
What kind of private investigation do you do to carry a weapon? Most of you guys, I thought, just scoping out motels to see if some guy's having a girl, you know.
One 800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
We're back with Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police. Project Safe Street, underway over the last week. Officers of the Auxiliary Police will walk up to individuals in malls, anywhere where there are a lot of people, where there is heavily trafficked with people, especially with this warm weather, and simulate robberies or attempted rapes. And this, Mr. Santos, this comes down to restraining people's arms, forcing them to their knees.
Well, we don't force you onto their knees. We tell them to get on their knees, and at that time we will pretend as if it's going to be an execution-style shooting. Now, look, I'll tell you, it's radical.
Well, I would say it's radical. I mean, when you're simulating a rape, you walk up to a woman and unbutton the button on her pants or a blouse or whatever. This is getting darn close to someone having a heart attack.
Now, Phil, no one's going to have a heart attack because first of all, we're only approaching young people or people who are in good health because there's very, very little need to worry about some old, I'm not going to walk up to an old lady and, okay, well, it's time to rape you. We're not going to do that. It's not very likely. It's not very likely at all. And
I want to ask you, did you ever hear of the Boston Strangler?
Of course I have, yeah.
You know that most of the women that he raped, all the women the Boston Strangler raped were of all ages. There was an 85-year-old woman. There were young women.
Well, we're not talking about the Boston Strangler here. That guy was... Yeah, that guy's going to go down in history. He was one of a kind. I mean, they made a movie about him. We're talking about the average everyday rapist. Some old bag, not old bag, old lady. I don't mean old bag, but from his point of view, it's some old bag. So we're not going to go up to an old bag or, an old lady and do that. So, there's no likelihood of them having a heart attack. Now, the other thing about unbuttoning a button or rolling her pantyhose down, we're not taking it, the pantyhose are not getting rolled down over her butt. So we're not seeing anything if that's what people are asking. What we're doing is, because I'm anticipating...
I'm telling you right now that is going to be something you're going to face some legal action over. Unbuttoning someone's button, rolling pantyhose down.
We roll them down 2 turns of the pant. We do not in any way... And plus, we do get consent. And
how do you get consent?
Because what we're saying to people is, you understand that this is a rape. And they'll say yes. Okay. Technically, I can say, well, that's consent to the...
No, it's not. I mean, that's under duress.
Well, you got to read your Constitution, I'll tell you. Because I have citizens arrest, procedures, and I'm allowed.
All right, 1-800... I don't know that it says that in the Constitution. 1-800-449-8686. Jim, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Yeah, Phil, thanks.
We're going to be talking with Jay Santos about this Project Safe Street. And do you have these brochures? What do these brochures say?
Well, the brochures say things, for instance, about, how if a person comes up to you and is going to rape you, that what you've just experienced is definitely what's going to happen, just like that, see? And so I think that there's an awful lot that can be done. And I'll tell you one other thing that proves that what we're doing is legal, Phil. And there's not one police officer that is called in to say I'm wrong. You know why? Because they know that they've blown it when it comes to protecting ladies against rape and assault, and they don't have any ideas that are better.
All right, we're going to come back with Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police here as we talk about this unbelievable program, Project Safe Street. You walk up to people, say, this is a robbery. Do you understand that? Yes. That means you got their consent. And then after simulating this robbery, they force them to their knees and pretend as if they're going to be shot execution style. 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Jay Santos here on the Phil Hendrie Show. We'll be right back.
The Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
We just want to take a peek over the shoulder of the police. That's all. Slow peek. Kind of a peekaboo.
1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
Jay Santos with us from the Citizens Auxiliary Police as we're talking about Project Safe Street. And let's go to a caller now. Betty, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Well, first of all, there's no way that I would allow, even if you told me this is a rape, you understand that I would actually understand that. And if you ever touch me or put me in a car against my will,
ma'am, are you telling me that the act of trying to prepare you for an armed assault,
you know what,
you would find that a crime?
I understand what you're saying, but you know what?
A real rape, they won't stop at rolling the pantyhose down two rolls.
I totally understand that, but you know what? I'm scared to death of getting burned in a building, and I don't need to stand next to the heat to get scared to death about how to prepare myself for being in a fire.
Well, you've seen a fire, but have you ever seen someone had their pantyhose all peeled down and pinned up in an alley? I don't think so.
I am telling you right now, you are the perfect example of why our lawmakers need to stop people like you.
Man, we have crime running amok. We've got crime running amok.
I agree. I agree, but this
no one
is not
has
the way
an
to stop
answer.
it.
No one has an answer as to how to do it. We don't hurt anybody.
Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. But if you scared me to death like that,
well, ma'am, I think
you are hurting me.
In the world of men, we call other men who have your attitude kind of, well, maybe I shouldn't say it, but kind of pussed out, Because
what do you mean?
Well, because she's all afraid.
I'm a tough broad.
She's afraid of me. She's afraid of the make-believe thing.
I'm telling
how good is she going to do it?
You come near me and I punch you, and then I
you punch me?
I punch you.
Would you put me in the kneecap?
Listen, if somebody's trying to rape me, you think I'm just going to stand there and take it?
Ma'am, if you've never experienced it, if you've never experienced it, I don't know what you think you'd be capable of doing against an individual who is much more powerful than you and is intent on, peeling it down.
Listen,
what do you mean peeling it down?
Survival classes before I would ever agree to have a group like you.
Ma'am, I'm just saying,
scare me to death about being raped.
Some of these guys out there, like the Boston Strangler, Mr. Hendrie talked about, or some of these other weirdos, I mean, they'll pull you're going to be walking around with your underwear around your ankles before you know what happened.
I don't care. I'm just said
You don't care. You're the first woman I've ever talked to who doesn't care about walking around with her underwear, shuffling around with her underwear around.
Your group ever comes near somebody like me.
Jay, what the lady's saying here is that there is, well, I'm not sure, but I guess she just doesn't want to be assaulted in any way, shape, or form.
We're not assaulting her. We're not assaulting her.
Yes, you are.
Ma'am, can I remind you that I have a gun pointed at your head while this is going on? Now, yeah, got you. Now you're going to fight back? Yeah, sure.
Listen,
it's not a real gun, right?
No, it's not a real gun. She didn't know that.
It's not. It's a play gun. I'm telling you,
Betty,
these kinds of tactics do not work.
Big talk.
And this is exactly what our lawmakers need to stop.
Betty, you're talking real big. You talk the talk and you walk the walk.
Yeah, absolutely. I can walk the walk.
I don't think so. I don't think you've ever experienced anything like this.
Let me tell you what.
And I think
I'll make sure we start the bill.
Are you kidding me? You're a woman. So number one, a guy come up to you who's bigger and stronger, you're going to be shuffling around with your panties around your ankles before you can say lickety split.
You think all women are wimps?
Ma'am, a much more powerful serial rapist who is a psychopath, believe me, he's going to have your panties shoved in your mouth before you can say lickety split.
I think you have a problem.
What problem have I got trying to protect people? What problem have I got trying to protect people?
Try to do it by educating people instead of scaring the living daylight out of them.
What is the whole thing?
Wait a minute, you just said you can walk the walk. Now you got the daylight scared out of you? Which is it? Can you talk? You talk the talk. Can you walk the walk?
If the daylight has been scared out of me, I'm fighting back.
Right. Okay. Well, I tell you what.
Gun to my head or not, you can go ahead and shoot me, but I'm fighting back. I'm going to
that's a good attitude to have, Betty. You need to have some kind of a weapon. I suggest you have your keys between your knuckles, the keys sticking out between your knuckles.
Yes, I do that.
And you stick that right into the guy's eye.
Yep.
Put it in the guy's eye? Are you kidding me? What woman's going to do that? Miss Hendrie, please leave this to professionals.
That's the best thing to do if you're a woman. Take your key, jam it in the guy's eye.
You're supposed to grab him by his testicles.
That's only going to get him mad. I've seen guys get grabbed by their testicles, beat the crap out of the guy that did it.
Well, that's two guys.
Well, what, he's not going to beat up a woman that does it?
Phil, women go to the self-defense classes all the time. and we are taught how to carry ourselves. You're absolutely right.
Can I ask you a question, ma'am? Do you wear pantyhose?
A whole lot bigger.
Do you wear pantyhose?
How to take them down.
Ma'am, do you wear pantyhose?
That's none of your business.
It's none of my business.
If you come within,
well, I'll tell you, then that means you do. And
if you come within 6 inches of me
I guarantee
and try to undo a button or in any part of my body, I'm punching.
Look, I'm going to find out sooner or later whether you wear pantyhose. You might as well tell me now. Because
what is that supposed to mean?
If she is in our simulation project area. And I'm saying that if she takes this attitude with a real rapist, he's going to have her pantyhose stuffed in her mouth with duct tape over them.
Part of my pantyhose, and not only will I go down kicking and screaming, but if you then tell me it's a simulation, I'm taking you to court faster than you can imagine.
Well, ma'am, what happens if a woman starts to fight back? I mean, this is a very good question, Jay.
Women, like I say, Phil, women talk the talk, they can't walk the walk. Now, if you've got their pantyhose off, shoved in their mouth, and duct tape over them,
you're a sick man.
What are you talking? I'm telling you what real rapists do, ma'am. I'm sick. That's what happens in the real. That's what happens in the real world.
You're a sick man.
Well, you can say it all you want, but the fact is, the real world is the real world.
And I don't even believe that you have.
If you give me a fight, I could use your G-string as dental floss. Okay, can I get right down to it?
Boy, you're getting real personal and really dumb-sounding now, Jay.
In what way, Mr. Henry? When we have millions of women, billions and billions of them, getting assaulted this way every day.
I know, and we can go to classes. We can be participants with our police.
There's no better way to learn.
And we learn self-defense.
There's no better way to learn
than learn self-defense. We don't need idiots like you stimulating and touching us.
As I said at the beginning of the program, ma'am, the military uses simulation for prisoner of war experience. The military uses simulation for being a survival in the wild.
This is comparing what you do to the military.
A woman like you talk a lot. How are you going to feel when you're not able to talk when there's duct tape and panties shoved in your face?
Will you come on with that, Mr. Santos, please? It's tasteless.
No, I'm wondering, will this woman be motor mouthing the way she is as a guy wads up her G-string, crams that in her mouth, her pantyhose,
listen to how sick
her
you're
socks.
Sounding, Jay.
How is this sick? Ma'am, this comes from police files. This comes from police files.
Jay,
this happens.
Jay, I'm going to tell you because of this. And I don't come from the part of the town that listens to this show. I don't get this show where I live. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be the first to start to get legislation to stop this sick stuff that you're doing.
So there's Betty out there stopping people from being protected while the rapists have a field day.
I want it done in a reasonable and intelligent way.
You know what, Betty? The rapists out there tonight are listening to you and saying it's on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're popping the cork out of the champagne bottle.
See, you don't even know what you're talking about.
I don't?
You don't.
Well, you have proven that you got a big mouth, but it can be closed pretty fast. It's called wadding up pantyhose and duct tape. Thank you.
See
all right, okay,
No, I'm done.
All right, Betty, I apologize.
So there's no need to apologize when I'm trying to save lives, and this lady's on here. She talks the talk, but she can't walk the walk.
All right, Betty, thank you for your call.
Betty. Well, I proves right there. See, there's another thing. The lady's name indicates a certain age. There's no woman, as my son would say, and a lot of his friends, my son and his friends would say something like, she's real slamming, she's a piece of ass, or this kind of deal. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be crude, but there's no slamming piece of you-know-what named Betty. Because any woman named Betty is at least over the age of 50. And
I just told you about these psychopathic rapists. It doesn't matter how old a woman is.
Phil, you told me about one guy, Boston Strangler. Okay, the Boston Strangler is a guy who is famous, and
it doesn't matter if they're famous or not, man. They're all the same sick creep. I mean,
well, you really need to read your Constitution.
1-800-449-8686. We'll be back with more phone calls here. Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police, Operation Safe Street. He'll have you shuffling around with your panties around your ankles. We'll be right back in the Phil Hendrie Show.
Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
Now I'm a fag, and I'm going to have my skull sex. Anything else, gentlemen?
The Phil Hendrie Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
We got Troy on the line here who's going to talk to you. Jay Santos is with us from the Citizens Auxiliary Police. Troy, my screener tells me you're a police officer?
That's correct.
Don't tell me the city. Which state do you work
in? California.
All right, go ahead with your comment.
Let's
remember the police officers don't like us because of politics.
And I'll tell you something that my grandmother used to say. If you let somebody talk long enough, they'll tell on themselves. And basically, what I've broken down from what you've said is that you're a misogynist, number one. Number two, let's break down your scenario.
Well, you
brandish a firearm, which is a crime.
A what?
You brandish a firearm.
It's not a firearm, it's a toy.
It doesn't matter. If I presume that...
What if it's got the orange barrel?
If it's got an orange barrel, which you said you covered with tape...
That's right. You said you put masking tape over it.
But I take it off.
You take it off after your simulation, is what you said. Rewind the tape and listen to the lies that you're telling.
By the time you guys respond, the tape's off.
Okay.
Oh, that's really...
Now, let's see.
By the time radio cop gets there, the woman's already been given a brochure.
Let's continue with your scenario. You brandish a firearm and then threaten somebody with rape, okay? Then you physically put your hands on them, which is a battery, okay? Let's continue. Then you take them in a car and remove them from the scene, whether it be 20 feet or 2 inches.
Too bad it doesn't happen in front of you, huh?
Kidnapping.
You know what?
Kidnap them.
The only problem is by the time you guys get there, it's all done, and it's only her word against mine.
Okay. Well, let's see. Now let's continue.
All the stuff I'm telling you, you're never going to see because you guys, you are halfway out of the donut shop, and she's got the brochure.
Let's do this.
All right.
Let's do this.
All
let's
right,
continue with the crimes that you've committed. Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686.
Are you for real?
Hendrie.
I see ya.
Sacramento County Coroner ruled Monday that a Hewlett-Packard Company employee who plunged to her death from a corporate plane committed suicide, unfortunately. Her name was Elizabeth Otto. She was 29 years of age, very young, apparently opened an emergency exit, and she jumped from 2,000 feet on Thursday evening. Her body was found Friday in a vegetable garden just south of the city of Sacramento. Jay Santos is joining us from the Citizens Auxiliary Police because we want to get kind of someone who is involved in volunteer police work. You do volunteer law enforcement work as an assistant to the police, just to get your viewpoint, Jay, on this very, very tragic event.
Thank you very much for having us.
And you are at what you call, is this your substation, right?
We are at a Citizens Auxiliary Police substation right now, and it is a week before Christmas. They're just doing some monitoring.
Where's your substation located?
Well, you ask me this, a lot of times I'm on your show, you ask me.
Yeah, because it's in your house, isn't it?
It's in the base of my house, yeah. It's, the reason Citizens Auxiliary Police does utilize the resources of its membership, and,
I'm not asking you to embarrass you, Jay. I wanted to determine where you are right now.
Well, it's a little embarrassing because I think a lot of people are trying to make it seem as if we're not legitimate. We are a legitimate volunteer police agency.
No, I didn't mean to say that. If that's the impression, I apologize. What I want to ask you about is this lady who jumped from the aircraft.
Just a point there, Phil. I am on call 24 hours a day, and it allows me to be close to the substation. So if I'm on call 24 hours a day and the substation's in my own home, then we can...
that certainly makes sense.
All right.
All right, let me ask you about this lady who jumped. From the standpoint of... and I know the Citizens Auxiliary Police motto is to save lives.
It's about saving lives.
It's about saving lives.
Right, and in the case of this young lady, Phil, a girl is 29 years of age. We are a little puzzled here, as I'm sure a lot of law enforcement is puzzled as to why she would commit suicide. It's just beyond me.
What is puzzling about that?
Well, she's 29 years of age. She is a young lady. Gravity has there's a lot of things that you can say when she's 29. Why is she depressed? And the answer that we come to at the Citizens Auxiliary Police, and I had also called a substation over the East Texas Volunteer Rangers, as well as some of the other anti-police agencies and the Simulated Police of Oregon, and we all agree, Phil, that a girl the age of 29 should not get depressed. We ran that through the computer, and nothing that came up made any sense at all. 29-year-old women should never get depressed.
What kind of a computer program is that?
Well, we just enter in questions. The computer program that we use?
Yes, sir.
We basically ask the computer, should a 29-year-old woman get depressed? We go on Ask Jeeves, which does give us some idea of what it is. And
so the computer program you're using told you that a 29-year-old woman shouldn't get so depressed as to jump.
So she shouldn't be depressed at all. What we came up with were a couple of things. First of all, when you talk about a 29-year-old woman, gravity's not taking over, which means there's not, a lot of sagging or what have you. There's no cellulite, no crow's feet, no saddlebags. A 29-year-old woman feels also still within acceptable age limits before you consider an old maid or a spinster. Or if you're an aging lesbian, you don't get married at 40 years of age, or a lesbian. 35 does tend to be the limit. So this woman was not only in the age range, but she was also married, so that would not give her any reason to be depressed. You put that together with the fact that this young woman is indulgent, probably narcissistic, and a product of the whole women's liberation deal. We know this is a problem, and it is about saving lives. So we are.
You think it's you think it's unusual? You think it's unusual for a 29-year-old woman to be depressed?
I think it's unusual for any woman under the age of 35 to be depressed. And Citizens Auxiliary Police, in conjunction with the Oregon Simulated Police as well as New York Volunteer Patrol, ran it through the computer, and we did come up with that finding. Yes, sir.
Okay, just so I'm clear, you used a program called?
We used the programs. We used Google and we used Ask Jeeves. And those two programs spit out and I was at the computer room until about 3 o'clock this morning. The other thing, too, Phil, to keep in mind is a 29-year-old woman is at her sexual peak. And as a result of that, she's probably, I was talking to Major Elvis Newton, I was talking to Bob Broly, who's also with these, I get more ass in a rental car, that kind of a deal. And,
well, you know something, that offends me.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
That just, we're talking about the suicide of a young woman, and to say that she's getting more ass than a rental car, it's not only a cliche, but I think it's a...
I'm very sorry, Phil. I was not sure.
Well, I think we need to keep this, you know what I'm saying?
I am trying to be sensitive. I'm saying a 29-year-old woman's getting a lot of, starting to get a lot of sex, sexual contact. And so, from that standpoint, it is my opinion that she shouldn't be depressed.
By the way, where is your computer room located?
One of our deputies' daughters has an iMac in her bedroom, and we do access that when we can. We have to have Ruby. My son has Ruby. So I don't know. I would like to see if she had a lot of AA batteries in the Max Pack in her room to utilize that. But the Citizens Auxiliary Police right now is just baffled, but we do want to check for depression.
All right, we're talking with Jay Santos of the Citizens Auxiliary Police about the woman who fell out of the airplane or jumped. It has been determined it was a suicide by the Sacramento County coroner. She jumped from an airplane to her death. She was a 29-year-old woman. She was an employee of Hewlett-Packard who had just transferred to the United States from her native Holland, the Netherlands. Our number is 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Jay Santos here on the Phil Hendrie Show. You mentioned Citizens Auxiliary Police does want to take an active hand in finding out what is going on with this particular situation.
Well, the other thing, Phil, that we can do is find out why young women are depressed. And if they are depressed, again, we feel it's completely inappropriate for a 29-year-old woman to be depressed. Citizens Auxiliary Police, we'd like to assure your listeners we'll take an active hand in this. We will go to probably within the next week or so fanning out to where young single women congregate, which means major nail salons, hair salons. We'll be going to shoe stores as well as salad bars. And what we're checking for...
Now, what are you going to be checking on then? You'll be talking to women?
We're going to be randomly interviewing them. We'll be checking on depression. A woman who is depressed generally does not have a sex drive. She does not have a very high, what's called libido. So we'll ask a series of questions.
Can you give an example?
One of the questions we'll ask is, are you having regular marital relations, or what do you want to call your course? Another question, are you sore afterward? And I realize...
Isn't that invasive?
I realize that's a real tough one to ask, Phil, but generally if you're sore after your course, that means you've been probably get pretty good. And
isn't that an insensitive question to ask?
You know something, Phil, I ask myself the same thing. It probably is, but we are wrestling with what could be a problem.
I mean, to ask a woman if she's sore afterwards.
Well, we're wrestling with a problem. It is about saving lives. If depression is going to kill young women, if young women be depressed.
It seems to me like a crazy question. I mean, it seems to me like an invasive question.
Invasive? I think suicide's invasive. I think suicide's bad.
What are some of the questions?
Well, the number one question that I will be asking women personally is, I'll be asking them, do you find me attractive? And
why? Why do you ask them that? You're asking them the question, do you find me attractive, meaning me, Jay?
Me, Jay Santos, yes. And
why do you ask that?
Women are attracted to law enforcement uniforms. A younger woman thinks that a law enforcement uniform is hot. And because I do wear a uniform...
Now, the Citizens Auxiliary Police, your uniform is one of a blue armband, a white safari helmet.
You wear a blue armband, that's correct, with a white safari helmet and plaid Bermuda shorts and wingtips. And we are certainly well identified. When you see the blue armband, please just back up, step aside, and we'll get to your comments. The other thing that we'll be asking women, do you have a healthy appetite? Were you ever teased as a child? How often do you have sex? Do you give it? Do you take it? That kind of thing.
What's all of that?
Just finds out whether she has healthy libido. If we find that she is depressed, then we generally do give them a warning subject to them getting a better attitude. It's called an AAW, it's an attitude adjustment warning, and we follow up with an unannounced visit to their home. So that's all we can do to sign, Phil.
All right, a lot of those questions people are going to find to be kind of invasive. You know, how often do you have sex? Probably isn't so bad. But are you sore afterwards? I think...
it may go too far. I don't know, Phil, but we're trying to save lives. And that's all I can say to you, your listeners.
All right, Jay Santos is with us. And we're talking about the very tragic suicide of a young woman, 29-year-old woman, who jumped out of an airplane in Northern California. Now, the Citizens Auxiliary Police are conducting interviews with young women throughout Southern California, nail salons, wherever young women congregate, nail salons, hair salons, shoe stores, and salad bars, to find out if they're depressed. They think it may be an epidemic. And then they are asking some questions. The one that I had a problem with, two of them, are you having regular marital relations, and do you find me attractive, meaning Jay? 1-800-449-8686. And then the other thing he said was that young women get depressed, so we need to talk about that. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686, talking to Jay Santos, the Citizens Auxiliary Police. A lady jumped out of an airplane last week because of depression. I guess you jump out of airplanes because you're depressed, right, Jay?
I mean,
I realize that sounds like a stupid question.
I've never heard of anybody jump out of an airplane because they feel good. They ruled out an accident. As far as we're concerned, Citizens Auxiliary Police treating this as a suicide, yes.
All right, and your contention is that any woman under 35 should not be depressed.
Well, there's no need for it, Phil. Women under 35 are still young. They have not had any obvious physical things that happen to women that make them get depressed or suicidal. The breasts are still fairly firm, or they still have a firm backside or rear end area. And again, I don't want to get, I'm not trying to get personal, but I'm saying that all of that put together means they ought to be feeling pretty good about themselves. You know, one jumps out of a plane. That's why we want to try to head this off.
By talking to young women and asking them questions about how often do you have sex and are you sore afterward?
Again, you're focusing in, Phil, on one question. And
well, I'm focusing in on a fairly significant question. How often do you have sex and are you sore afterwards? Sounds a little invasive.
We're trying to save lives. And that's the Citizens Auxiliary Police always about save lives.
All right, here's Arlene on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I have never been so incensed in my entire life. I've never called a radio show. This man is a menace. He should not be allowed.
We're trying to save the lives of young women. I don't know if you're aware of that.
How dare you think saving lives is going out to ask young women whether they like you or not, or whether they find you attractive, or whether they're sore after sex? Do you know how many other reasons that there are?
That was the problem. That's the problem
you
I had.
had your say. Let me have mine.
Well, I'm the host, ma'am. It wasn't him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
But I'm agreeing with you to a point. I didn't understand the.
Well, so what are you doing? You're getting your listeners to call in and gang up on me? Is that it?
No, I'm not getting my listeners.
It's not a matter of ganging up. I mean, you're going to ask young women whether or not they're sore after having sex, or whether or not they find you attractive. You're going to make other women think that perhaps there's something wrong with them if they are sore, when in fact if there are other reasons for being sore. You don't have to be depressed.
Well, ma'am, I would ask you a question then. Are you depressed?
No, I'm not. I am depressed that there's someone like you on the radio. I am depressed that there's someone like you that something so awful as this woman killing herself. You're the kind of person that's going out there questioning it.
So in other words, I'm the one who goes out trying to save lives, and you're questioning me. What are you doing to save lives?
How dare you think that because a woman has firm buttocks or has good breasts that she shouldn't be depressed? You mean if a man is built well or hung well, he shouldn't be depressed?
Well, ma'am, I am saying that a young woman should not be depressed. She's in the prime of her life. She certainly reached her sexual peak at 29, 30 years of age.
And who are you to determine that?
Well,
how do you know what problems have posed themselves in her life? Or perhaps she had an illness.
We have done checks. We have done checks, members of the Citizens Auxiliary Police. We do a level of, I guess you're going to think it's invasive, but we do a level of checking.
On what?
Why would I think that? I think everything about this woman's life needs to be looked at, but to treat it as an epidemic and to ask young women about this.
We have checked the firmness of breasts. Yes, we have, Phil, to answer your question.
You're going out and checking how firm a woman's breast is?
Well, yeah, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I mean, we have asked a part of our secondary question, how many fingers fit? Is she tight? Is she...
Come on!
Phil, is this a joke?
Are you joking with us?
Is this a joke?
Are you joking with us?
Mr. Henry, a young lady lost her life a week ago, and the only people joking here are you and this caller. We are about saving lives of Citizens Auxiliary Police.
I don't know about you, but this is way beneath you and your program. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm really upset, Jay, that you would talk about how many fingers fit, and is she sore?
I could ask this lady the same question, but she'd be offended, because she's too good to tell us about her mental state, and she's hung up. Okay? So
too good? Too good?
That's right. Let me ask you, Phil. How many fingers...
Never mind about me. Let's go to Leanne on the Phil Hendrie Show. Hello.
Hi,
I don't appreciate being yelled at either by either you or your callers.
Well, Mr. Santos, you have upset me. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, I don't understand how this guy can sit there and say that women under the age 35 are not depressed.
Well, because there's no reason for you to be depressed. I don't understand.
There's no reason for me to be depressed.
I'm not saying that you can't get...
Don't forget to go to philhendrieshow.com, philhendrieshow.com for all the latest news on the show, our official website. And we'll also give you information on how you can sign up to hear a first-ever historic webcast. You can hear it on the radio. You can't hear it on the radio. You can't see it on TV, but you can hear it via the Internet, a webcast for $4.95. The Phil Hendrie Show, unedited, uncensored webcast of the Tournament of Roses Parade on January 1st, and you can hear it on demand as well. So go to our website and get all the information. Jay Santos from the Citizens Auxiliary Police is with us. Jay, I am stunned.
Well, Phil, the death of a young woman stuns everybody, okay?
I'm not stunned so much about that lady's suicide, the one who jumped out of the airplane. What I'm stunned by is that in order for you to prevent suicides among young women who you say have no good reason to be depressed...
That is absolutely correct, Phil. You got to argue me off that point. I'm in the front line of law enforcement, and I have seen a lot of young women And I don't think, are you trying to tell me a woman goes, that's got pert breasts or something? She's going to be depressed? I doubt it.
Yeah, I think women with pert breasts can be depressed. I don't know why, but I think that they can, okay?
Now, Phil, the thing that I really want to ask you is this. If you've got me on your program to humiliate me or put me in the sights of some of your listeners, I don't want to be on your show anymore. What we try to do is save lives.
I am not trying to humiliate you. I cannot speak for the people that call my show. You say you're giving out tickets to women who are depressed and telling them to get an attitude adjustment, and then you follow up and go to their house to do what?
We have to have some videotape evidence that they are not depressed, and that's generally, okay, I guess this is going to make you angry, and this is very tough, but we do have to videotape or have some videotape evidence of them having some kind of sexual contact, marital relations, or intercourse. And
yeah, that makes me mad.
Well, I'm sorry, Phil. We're trying to save lives. You sit there and be an audio tape suffices. We don't have to see it, but we want to hear evidence that there is some intercourse so that they are not depressed.
All right, let me go back to Leanne, who's hanging on here on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, Leanne. We held you through the news because we know that you had been hanging on to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, this guy aggravates me to no end.
Is this the same young lady?
This is the same lady who was on before the break. Go ahead.
Yeah, and
what I'm doing, Leanne, if I could explain to you what we're trying to do, it might.
I've heard your show from the beginning. I know what you're trying to do, and I don't approve of it. You are not saving lives that way. I'm sorry. To be videotaping women having sex or audio taping sex and asking them questions about it is not going to save lives.
We are not doing the videotaping ourselves. That's for videotape evidence of it.
And what do you do with the tapes afterwards?
And I guess your question is, do I sell them? You know, Mr. Hendrie.
Well, I just want to know, what do you do with the videotapes afterwards?
We do return them to the owners.
You don't keep them?
No, I do not keep them, sir. I'm a father and I'm a husband. Leanne?
Uh-huh.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you regularly having marital relations?
Yes, I am.
Do you get sore afterwards?
See, now that is a question that has nothing to do with being depressed.
Don't answer that question.
You will not answer whether you get sore afterward.
No, I will.
Then I would write you up.
Nothing to do with me being depressed or not.
Okay, then I'd pay for you.
What does that mean, paper? Give her a ticket?
I would have to give her some kind of warning. By the way, at minimum, an audio tape, but we do need to, as a matter of fact, just the sound of your vibrator, anything, so that we know there is some evidence. Okay, so you are not sore afterwards, is that correct, ma'am?
I'm not answering that question.
Don't answer it. I'm going to move on. Leanne, thank you for thank you for your call, Leanne. Will you turn that radio down?
Oh, after that. All right.
I can't hear you, man, because of the radio.
Roger.
You're talking to me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ow. All right, here is Gertrude. Hi, you're on the Phil Hendrie Show, Gertrude.
Yes.
Yes, dear, go ahead.
I want to say to the man that he has his ages messed up, because the most people who get upset is between 19 and 25.
Well, ma'am, that's all my experience is. Between the age of 19 and 25, the breasts are very pert, and the buttocks is very firm.
Big one?
I say between the ages of 19 and 25, the breasts are very pert, and the buttocks is very firm. So why would women be depressed?
See, the most women get depressed because of love, or not love. That's what depresses women more than anything else.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Because I got married at 21, and I was separated, and I got very depressed, and I wanted to kill myself, because I figured if I didn't have my husband, I had no reason to live.
Well, can I ask you a question? You think it's different for African-American women as opposed to Caucasian or Caucasoid women?
They can?
That's why everybody has swing? Run along town blood?
No, not that I know.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever power run?
Have I have what?
Have you ever power height of Florida?
No.
Or gone to the lean?
No.
Okay, so you've never done any of that, see?
And what are you asking her?
I was just...
You're not asking her anything. Gertrude, this is Phil Hendrie. How are you, dear?
Fine, thanks.
Question. So you say you were married before you turned 35. Is that it?
Beg pardon? I didn't get what?
You didn't get wrapped?
You said I didn't get depressed. No, I didn't get depressed. After 35, I did not get depressed.
Oh, depressed. Yes, exactly. All right, let's go to another call here. Hi, you stay with us, Gertrude, for just a second, okay?
Okay.
All right, this is Compton. No, Bellflower. Hello.
Yeah, I want to talk to the lady. Gertrude?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Mavis. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
And what is your name, dear?
My name is Mavis.
And what did you want to talk to Gertrude about?
Well, I wanted to invite her to our church. Every Sunday we have bingo, and we have a charity blackjack game. And I'm hoping you want to come and play cards.
Well, that's very nice.
Would you like to come, Gertrude?
I tell you, I go to church every Sunday, and my church picks me up. I go to Paper Central, missionary Baptist Church, you've heard about. We buy cards.
Oh, that's wonderful. I go to Jeffrey Union Congregation. That's in Bellflower.
Yeah, my church picks me up every Sunday.
Isn't that lovely?
It is.
Do you play blackjack? Or
no, I don't play any kind of games.
No poker or blackjack?
Oh, no.
You know,
I was a minister, and I was taught against that.
Oh, you taught all about how that's wrong. Is that right? Because my church, we have blackjack, poker, and roulette.
Yeah, a lot of people do, but I never did play it.
Well, you know what we do? We said, come on, because I always pray to Jesus for inside straight. That's the little thing I say to God. Come on, let me pull it inside straight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you ever do that?
No, indeed. No, I just pray to Jesus. And
well, I love God, and I love Jesus, just like I'm sure you do too, right?
Uh-huh.
Have you got any grandchildren?
Oh, my great-granddaughter right in the house with me.
Here's not what God bless you. I have 6 grandchildren. And as of yet, I am not blessed with any great-grandchildren.
Yeah, I got great-granddaughter, and I'm 19 children from my family.
You have 19 children?
It was 19. I didn't have 19. I have 19 sisters and brothers.
You are 19?
Yes.
How? Oh, God, I thought that you were 84.
Yes.
You are 19. All right, I'm 78.
Oh, that's nice.
And you're only 19.
I say, I have 19 sisters and brothers.
I couldn't eat that. Could you say that again?
I have 19 sisters and brothers.
Do any of them play poker?
Well, what, Mavis, dear?
Yeah.
Well, we have to move on, okay?
Yeah.
Gertrude.
Well, I just want to ask you one thing, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does a Full House beat a straight up?
Never mind, okay?
I don't know.
You don't know about
I don't know anything about those games.
I had a hotel the other night, okay? I got 3 kings. And I got...
Thank you very much, Mavis, okay?
All right. I hate it when a white man tells me what to do.
Thank you very much.
Old lady.
Well, I just don't. I love all people, but I don't like a white man pushing me around, you know.
And I'm not trying to push you around, dear. I just don't want to.
Oh, I can talk about poker. Throw it on the inside straight. How about a Texas press? You ever play 727? I love it.
All right, Gertrude.
Gertrude, this is Anna. Are you ever sore after sex?
Never mind.
He can say what he wants. I've been listening to your program all night.
He is sick, isn't he? All right, Gertrude, thank you very much, dear.
All right.
You never saw after sex, huh?
Okay.
God bless you.
God bless you, dear. And God bless you. This is Phil Hendrie Show. He'll be right back.
And I'll do it. Thank you very much.
What about his music?
Drinking music, okay?
Thanks a lot, David. You're welcome, Jay. Yeah.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action. It may be called the state police, state troopers, militia, the rangers.
1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show. I hope you'll join us at the GameWorks at the Block at Orange on Friday night. This coming Friday night, we'll be there from 9 to midnight. We're going to do our best. We might bug out of there early, but we're doing our best. We'll be there at 9 o'clock to sign the #1 rated Phil Hendrie Show Best of the Year 2000 CD. We have CDs for sale, and they will be available for signing, that is autographing, and then you can give them for Christmas or take them home as your own personal keepsake. While you're waiting in line, GameWorks is going to offer a 3-hour game card good for unlimited use while I'm there for only $20. $5 of the card purchase will go to my friend's place. We had a good turnout last year. I hope to see you there this coming Friday night at 9 o'clock at GameWorks at the Block at Orange. It's going to be a family event for your kids. They're going to have a dance competition. They're going to have a bunch of other stuff, man. So the family's going to feel welcome. Also, if you want to hear our webcast of the Rose Parade, this is going to be an uncensored and unedited and completely unmolested webcast of the Tournament of Roses Parade. You can sign up to hear it. It's a pay-per-listen for only $4.95 by going to our website, philhendrieshow.com. That's PHILHENDRIE show.com. And sign up for something that will be a historic
And now, the internationally recognized, critically acclaimed, world-famous Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686.
On the line with me is Herb Sewell, former chairman of Walton Chemical. He's been a visitor to the White House, a frequent guest of the President and Mrs. Bush in Texas. His new book is called The Bush Legacy, and we welcome you, Herb, to our program this evening.
Always a pleasure, Phil.
I was struck by one of the chapters in your book on religion. Today was the inaugural prayer, and you mentioned President Bush, quote, knows his constituents and knows how to play to them. Is he a religious man?
Well, Phil, the president knows that it was very important to get the religious right on board, and people who are traditionally refer to themselves as Christian, it was very important to get them, and it's a big part of his message. And I have to say it was admirable the way he got a lot of people on board believing it.
Well, what do you mean believing it?
Well, George Bush is spiritual, but he is far from the very devout man he paints himself to be. In the few encounters I've had with him, he appeared to be a man who would certainly be comfortable with a off-color joke, looking at women's bodies. But the larger issue here...
The president would ogle other women?
In a way that men do, not in any way that would be disrespectful to his wife. The larger issue, Phil, is that Americans need to believe that their president is devoutly religious. President Bush knew that this campaign would turn on playing to the American people as a devoutly spiritual man. And I applaud him for his ability to pull it off. But I'm also a little bit surprised at the American people that they would fall.
But you count yourself as a friend of his. It sounds to me as if you're painting him as a phony.
Oh, but I'm not trying to do that.
Well, the way you're describing him, it sounds as if...
No, I'm not trying to do that at all, Phil. Please understand who it is we're talking about. We're talking about a politician. Politicians traditionally have... I don't know why the American people would want to throw themselves fully into the belief that President George Bush, or any politician for that matter, whether it be Jimmy Carter, who was also considered to be quite religious, but he admitted in an interview in Playboy magazine that he had some, I think he called them lustful thoughts.
Did he say he lusted after women?
Well, he said more than that. He said he had some lustful thoughts about members of his own family, and that...
I don't remember that.
Well, but the point is that did not help him. The American people don't want to believe that their presidents are flawed, and so George Bush knows this, and I think he's done my hat is off to him for doing an admirable job in conning the American people.
All right, there's a word right there, the word con.
Well, I say it out of respect, though. I'm not trying to say he's dishonest.
No, but when you say he conned the American people into believing that he's religious, are you saying that he's not?
No, I'm not saying that George Bush is not religious. I think he is a man who attends church. I think he has some sense of spiritual life. I think that, but I think it's very well known in the inner circles of Washington that he and Laura are far from the prim and proper couple that they paint themselves to be. But it doesn't matter, because as long as you get these, as President Bush himself called them, some of these country bumpkins into believing that...
President Bush called who a country bumpkin? He called the Christians?
Well, Ralph Reed, for instance. I'll give you an example. Ralph Reed was the chairman of President Bush's re-election efforts in Florida. And yet I was sitting in a room one night when President Bush referred to Ralph Reed, and I will quote, as that turd in Florida, end quote. And
the president said that about the guy that was heading up his re-election effort in Florida.
He did, and it was not a I don't think he was trying to say anything negative about Ralph. He was angry that day about something. But in other words...
But this is the same Ralph Reed who was very prominent in anti-abortion and...
Very, very prominent in the religious right, absolutely, yes. And yet there's the President of the United States calling the man who heads up his re-election effort in Florida a turd. What I'm saying, and what the book, The Bush Legacy, tries to give to the American people is... when you hear all of this talk about the president being a devoutly religious man and that he is going to meld church and state, it's not going to happen. First of all, he's a very pragmatic man. Secondly, President Bush secretly is not a big fan of some of these people. He is not going to overturn Roe versus Wade. He is not.
Is he pro-choice?
Well, he's not going to say that, but I don't think I think that George Bush has said in the past that they'll never. I'm not going to let those, and I don't know what word he used, but it was disparaging. I'm not going to let them run this White House, and I think he was referring to. Well, I told you he referred to Ralph Reed as a turd. So,
are the American people then stupid for voting for George Bush? And from the standpoint of,
well, I don't know what their political point of view is.
Well, no, but from the standpoint of believing that he is religious.
Well, I think the American people have always been not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree when it comes to the moral character of their presidents. They always want to believe the best. They wind up getting disappointed. And in the case of George Bush, I don't think that while there is no extramarital sex going on as there was with President Clinton, and there's no criminal behavior going on as there was with President Nixon, George Bush is a man who, at the end of the day, after he has shaken all the religious right hands, after he's kissed all of the Christian babies, after he's patted all the Christian women on the head, at the end of the day, he's a man who'll go into the bathroom and give his hands a good washing because he's...
Does he not like those people?
Well, I don't know.
Well, at the end of the day, he goes into the bathroom and washes his hands.
Well, I think he understands that they're not people that are his people, but... I mean, I've heard him say after spending a day on the stump with in the Christian communities, he'll come back to the White House and say something like, "Now I need a shower," as if I got to wash all of this, all the baloney off of me, So,
all right, with me is Herb Sewell. The book is called The Bush Legacy. 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. And it's an interesting book because you're saying that George Bush is not the spiritual guy that everybody thinks he is. He's not the devoutly religious guy everybody thinks he is. He's not particularly enamored of pro-life people. He referred to Ralph Reed as that turd in Florida. And you say that inside the Beltway in Washington, the Bush, Laura and George are not the...
They're not the prim and proper, no. I think people know that they like to have a good time. I think George and Laura are both wonderful people, but they let their hair down, let me put it that way. And
are they phonies?
No, they're not phonies. They're very real to their friends.
But I mean, to the American people, are they phonies?
Well, you can't be honest with the American people all the time. And this is one of these wonderful discussions that you'll have in a party late at night. Can you tell the American people the truth all the time? No, you can't. If you told the American people all of the truth all of the time, there would be panicked rioting in the streets for weeks. No, you have to, as a father doesn't tell his children everything, the president doesn't tell the American people everything. But the reason why I wrote the book is to say, hats off to a wonderful president who has sold to the American people this idea that he's all devout and everything.
The inaugural prayer that was today, which they fought very long and hard to have a prayer.
That's correct.
They wanted to make the statement that this is going to be an administration run by a man who's very religious.
That is correct, yes.
And this was a very controversial thing.
Well, Billy Graham did the inaugural prayer today, and President George Bush referred to him once. I was in his company when he referred to Billy Graham as Methuselah and said, "I hope he doesn't die before he's able to give the prayer." I mean, this is the kind of...
Well, I mean, that may be a glib thing, but is the guy not spiritual?
Well, he's not a man who is going to make a big deal out of prayer, no. What George Bush has done is been a politician. I think it's interesting, and it's really admirable, the way he conned and lied to them.
Well, there you go again with the word conned.
Well, the way he's got the American people believing that he's a man who is very devoutly religious. I've heard him use... he can tell a filthy joke. He can look at a woman's body. Nothing that, as I said, is it's going to disrespect his marriage. I heard him tell a very funny joke. We were out golfing, and it was one that...
was it a dirty joke?
Well, I can tell you this. It had to do with sex and physical handicaps. Now, is this a president who is, the devout church-going president people think? No, I don't think so. And yet he's got the American people believing this.
I want to be clear. You've seen the Bush image as being devout and Christian as a sham.
I'm not saying a sham. He's not really like some of the Christian right think he's ready to overturn Roe versus Wade. He's not going to, like I said. He's not a sham, but he really doesn't like a lot of those people. Christian people, religious people, he's really not a person who feels comfortable being around them. And as I said, at the end of the day, after shaking lots of hands and and kissing a lot of babies, he wants to come home and and put himself in a bathtub full of antiseptic because
what does he think? He's been contaminated?
Well, it's a sense that there's a certain grime or a sheen of grime that needs to be worn away.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. That inaugural prayer today was something that they really fought for. They really wanted to. And yet I have on the line with me right now, Herb Sewell has written a book, The Bush Legacy, where he claims that President Bush is anything but devoutly religious. He's a man who has told jokes containing elements of sex and physical handicap. He has apparently commented on other women's bodies. He and Laura are known. We heard that whole thing last night about Laura wearing that skin-tight dress. And that he doesn't care about prayer. He referred to Ralph Reed, the chairman of his campaign in Florida, as that turd down in Florida. Far cry from the, at least when it comes to religious matters, the president that we've been told to believe in. 1-800-449-8686, the number here on the Phil Hendrie Show. My guest is Herb Sewell, author of The Bush Legacy. 1-800-449-8686. We'll be right back.
Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686.
When was your last pork chop inhalation? These are the questions I ask myself.
1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
With me is Herb Sewell, author of The Bush Legacy, and that George Bush is not the religious man that he is portrayed to be, that he doesn't really particularly like Christians. Look, a lot of people might say that he is just a human. Do you got a TV on or something?
I do, Phil. I'm just watching. They got a rerun of Cops. And you want me to turn it down?
Yes, please. Did you hear my question?
Well, let me say this. People may say, well, he's just a man. But I don't think you understand what it is I'm saying here. George Bush is a man who, for instance, during grace, when they're saying grace at dinner, I've been there when he's looked up at me and winked and laughed while they're saying things about, God bless our meal. He came out of a lot of people don't know that they had a screening of Passions of the Christ at the White House. And I don't know how this is going to be taken, but during some of the more profoundly moving scenes of that film, he was making noises and
where?
In the screening at the White House.
When they were showing, didn't he have Mel Gibson show that to him?
He did indeed. Mr. Gibson came with the film, and while they are showing the Passions of the Christ, he's munching on popcorn, and it was very evident to those of us who were there that he was mocking or laughing about the whole thing. And
all right, so now what you're telling me is not only is he not the Christian we think he is, that he's anti-religious.
No, I wouldn't say he's anti-religious. I think he thinks the whole thing's pretty funny. And I think that
during Passions of the Christ, eating popcorn is not necessarily a bad thing.
Well, it's not a bad thing, but he's doing it in a noticeable way, munching on the popcorn, chomping. During the crucifixion scene, for instance, you could hear him rattling around with a bag. And to me, that's him. That's his sixth sense of humor.
So he's saying what?
Well, I think he finds the whole idea of the crucifixion of Jesus to be something that's amusing, I think.
Amusing? Here, this is a guy, I mean, if you have this in your book, that he thinks the crucifixion of Jesus is amusing.
Again, the book, Phil, you have to understand what the book's about. The book is about George Bush not being everything that he's... I don't know if you've been listening to me, but he's not everything that...
Well, you said that he's an imperfect guy, but I know he's munching on popcorn during the crucifixion scene of Passions of the Christ is a mocking thing.
Well, I don't want to give the impression that he is anti-religious. He had the inaugural prayer today, and he did that, though, to let all of what he calls the squares, make them happy. But, no, during the Passion of the Christ or in church, Laura has admonished him for making noises and making armpit noises and these things. He's a little bit of a child, and I think that's probably why a lot of people like him as president.
You're talking about armpit noise. You mean that fart noise kids used to make with their armpits?
And a couple of times, yes, when he was governor of Texas and early on as president, yes. Because he has to go off to church. It's part of his public image. He knows that, but it bores him to some degree, and so he's got on a beautiful $900 silk dress shirt, puts his hand inside the shirt, puts his hand in his armpit and is making these ridiculous, as you say, these gas-passing burp noises with his armpit in the middle of church. And this is the George Bush I think people don't see.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Joy, go ahead. Joy, you got your radio turned up.
Okay. You want me to turn it down?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. I just think, number one, if he were a friend, he shouldn't be writing this in a book or telling everybody on the radio. And I don't know what kind of friend would do that to another
Well, I think
friend.
it's important for the American people to know the president that they have. You know.
It really says a lot for you to be associating with him.
Well, I think he's a man of substance when it comes to leading our country. But I'm speaking specifically, Joy, of this idea that George Bush is a devoutly religious man. When you're making armpit fart noises during the crucifixion scene in Passion of the Christ, that's far beyond the devoutly religious man that I think many people see him as. You know.
Well,
and this is the point that I'm trying to make.
Well, the thing is, why would you be associating with him? Are you the same kind of person he is? Or
I think he's a quality man. I think he's a wonderful man, and he's the President of the United States. I just don't think that he is the religious man that everyone thinks he is. That's all.
Okay. And did you know that in the Bible? Wait a minute.
Do you find something wrong with someone who makes fart noises with their armpit? I don't understand.
Well, in the middle of church.
He's making fart noises with his armpits. What year was that?
This was when he was governor of Texas and early on.
Governor of Texas. I don't care what the governor of Texas does. I'm from North Carolina.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm from North Carolina, and he's our president.
Well, he also
I think everything you're saying is stuff that has been said way before the presidency.
Well,
and who cares?
Did he do this armpit noise as president?
He did it early on, and he was admonished by his wife not to do it.
As president?
Yes, he did. But
well, you just said when he was governor of Texas.
As governor of Texas, yes, and early on as president of the United States.
Okay, well, that doesn't make him less of a president.
All right, you're right, it doesn't. But I'm saying when you've got a national inaugural prayer, when you're talking about, I don't think he cares one bit whether the Roe versus Wade is overturned. I've heard him make dead baby jokes.
You're kidding me.
No. Joy, what's worse than unloading a truckload of dead babies? You know this joke, right?
No, I don't know the joke.
The president told this joke.
When you were shopping.
The president told this joke. What's worse than unloading a truckload of dead babies? And the answer is unloading them with a pitchfork. Now,
are you kidding?
No, he did.
Okay. Does that make him any less of a president?
Not at all.
Or any less of a Christian because he was making a joke?
Well, I don't think it makes him less of a president, but talking about unloading a truckload of dead babies with a pitchfork, I don't know whether that makes him a Christian or not. You know.
That laugh of yours
God,
kills
man,
me.
You know what? That to me, I don't know whether it makes you not a Christian or whatever. Unloading a truckload of dead babies with a pitchfork, the President of the United States saying that?
He was relaxing one night.
Well, why don't you guys, between you and President Bush, why don't you go on like a show one night, and I would like for you to say all this in front of him and let him defend himself against you. You're just trying to sell off.
Well, are you calling me a liar? So you're calling me a liar?
Look, she's not calling you. I got to move on.
You know, I've done a lot of research.
Don't call
on
me a liar. I don't like being called a liar. It's the one thing that I don't like.
The only thing I said is say it in front of him.
Well, meaning what?
Say it in front of the president.
Yeah,
say, hey, I was there the night you said you unloaded a truckload of dead babies with a pitchfork.
Well, he's not going to deny it. He knows he told it. He's got a whole notebook full of those jokes. He tells them at cabinet meetings.
All right, look at Joy, thank you for your call. 1-800-449-8686. We're going to get some more phone calls, but we're kind of up against our break time. You've heard what Joy said, that so what? He's imperfect. So what? The man tells jokes.
Well, okay, he's imperfect. So what? He tells jokes. Making fart noises with your armpit while they're nailing Jesus to the cross? And this is a guy who has claims to be... You got to be kidding me. You don't think that's...
Are you trying to bring this president down? You're a friend of his.
No, I'm not trying to bring him down, Phil. I'm trying to make the point that he's not... I think he's brilliant at the way he sold this whole devout Christian thing to the American people. Here's a guy who looks at Billy Graham on TV. I remember the night that President Bush, somebody told a joke about a man with no arms and no legs. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs? Water skiing, you call him Skip. And the president shot a Louisiana hot sausage out of his mouth. He was laughing so hard. And it sailed right across the executive office onto a sofa.
We'll be right back. 1-800-449-8686. It seems to me, and I'm talking with Herb Sewell, author of The Bush Legacy, it seems to me that the claims you're making about Bush not being the good Christian that he claims he is all circulate around an event that you were at. He was at church.
Yes, he was at a Presbyterian church, Phil, in the Georgetown area, and it's just a little bit from a restaurant where a lot of us used to meet before the president became president, and he was at a restaurant, and he is there, and then we went off to church. Now, I'm not saying he's not a good Christian, I'm not saying a bad Christian, but I think that people are going to be shocked to find out in our book that he's in church during the hymns, and he's doing these juvenile pranks. Now,
he's making a fart noise with his armpit.
Well, and he's also passing gas where you can hear it.
You're talking about the President of the United States?
I am talking about the President. And the other thing, calling Billy Graham that old Methuselah, I hope he doesn't die before, and all of these jokes. And the other thing that I think is he's giving people you know what a wet willy is, Phil?
You lick your finger and put it in somebody's ear?
Right. During the screening of The Passion of the Christ, at the moment when they drive the first nail into the actor's hand, into the character of Jesus' hand, he gave a wet willy to Helen Thomas, who was a reporter for the UPI, stuck a wet finger in her ear, and he thought that was hysterical, as you can hear the screams of Jesus coming from the screen. See, I don't care, personally. It's just, why is he...
Well... All right, 1-800...
What do you mean, well? Well what?
Well, he's still the president. It doesn't bother me.
Well, I can tell you, I told my publisher, and then we are banking on the fact there's going to be an awful lot of outraged people, so I think you're wrong.
You're banking on that? What if the book doesn't sell?
What if the book doesn't sell? That's very funny. The book will sell. I think when people find out that George Bush is making fart noises... I don't know what it is what you're getting at.
Well, it may be that people just think it's okay. Here is Cheryl on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Hi. I turned this show on a little while ago, and I had to call because I had a few comments that I wanted to make. And one is that, first of all, does he know what a Christian is? Because, Christians, real Christians, true Christians, know that people are not perfect, and they don't expect President Bush to be perfect. That's not would make him a Christian. They believe that the only perfect person...
dead baby jokes, I think, go beyond the purview, don't you? When you're fighting pro-life, and then he says, unloading a truckload of dead babies with a pitchfork, and he's saying this at a cabinet meeting that Putin's at.
I think...
And everyone's getting a big laugh.
I don't think the sins matter what they are, big or little, or small jokes, or bad jokes, or... it doesn't make you it doesn't make a person a Christian.
All right, what about looking at other women's rear ends?
You didn't say that. You didn't say...
Sins.
He's looking at...
And people do sin, and he's a Christian, and he'll sin just as much as anybody else will sin.
Do you think it's becoming of a president for him to comment on, and forgive me, Cheryl, but I'm quoting the president, comment on, quote, the rack of another woman?
When did you hear him say that?
I don't think we're here to judge him, and as far as those things. And they seem like childish things that you're bringing up. All these things are childish. I can't imagine that you really wrote a book.
The man's a married man. Would you want your own husband commenting on, quote, the rack, whatever that is? I'm not familiar with these terms.
You're not familiar with these terms.
I'm not.
It seems like all you've been saying is all things that are childish. You're calling him childish for doing it, but you seem to be aware of everything he's done.
Well, I took note of these.
Like you've been aware of everything that he did during watching The Passion of the Christ. It seems like you've seen it all.
Well, I am
watching him.
I am watching him. I'm a journalist, and I'm writing about him, and I notice the things that he does. I notice when they sit around at a cabinet meeting that is paid for by taxpayers' monies, and they're making fart noises with their hands, and they're throwing paper airplanes out of windows. Yes, of course I notice these things.
Well, doesn't it seem very minutiae when you think of what the whole...
Are you paying for that? Are you, as a taxpayer, paying for the president to be putting both of the palms of his hands together, pressing them up to his mouth, and making big fart noises?
It's
no, I don't.
Childish stuff that you're bringing up.
But are you paying for that as a taxpayer, is my question to you.
That's not going to affect our
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
It's not going to affect us in any way.
I don't think you're getting a good bang for your buck there, Cheryl.
Okay.
All right, Cheryl, thanks for your call. A lot of people are...
Well, that woman... you're trying to tell me people don't care.
No, I don't think your book's going to sell either.
I would watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Hendrie, because you don't want me to start to begin to worry here about whether my book is going to sell. I've got stuff in there that is going to, is about to explode when they find...
Look, this is not Watergate finding out that President Bush and President Putin are making fart noises with their hands.
All right. The president has invested money, and this is taxpayer money, in joke material. He has got whoopee cushions, chattering teeth. He's got the wax bubbet state dinners. Are the American taxpayers paying for that? That's my question. Stink bombs? Do you spend your...
The president's a practical joker.
Are you paying your taxes so that he can buy stink bombs?
I don't know if...
the fake dog poo, throwing fake vomit onto tables. I don't think anybody's paying their taxes for that.
Let me go over to Lindsay. Lindsay, go ahead.
Yes, my question to you is, I want to know, do you know what religion is? Can you explain to me what religion is?
Let me ask you something, Lindsay. Do you pay your taxes to have a president walk into the war room with a fake arrow through his head?
Yes, and I think I do, and I do.
Oh, you do not. You would never elect a president if he said, and if elected, I'm going to throw fake dog poo onto the floor of the war room.
You know what? That doesn't matter to me, because I believe that religion, as you say, Christianity and religion, he doesn't like Christians. I believe that religion is a bunch of set of rules, and, like these regulations that you have to do this and you have to do that. Well, I think President Bush is so far from that, and I think that's an excellent thing. Just making
That's a great point. That's a great point.
I think it's excellent.
Lindsay's making a good point. The president's a man, and maybe that's the way all religious people should be.
Well, that's not what my understanding is this guy is a Bible thumper and a pro-lifer.
Well, what do you mean, your understanding?
Well, that's who he hangs out with. Are you trying to tell me he's not? And now I've had not one call, but two. This young lady, Lindsay, telling me that if the President of the United States, who we pay well over $200,000 a year to, and God knows how much money that he will make after the fact, the tax dollars that goes into supporting this government, and he's walking into the war room, or he's walking into a meeting with the Nigerian president, tosses fake vomit onto the floor and makes a fake throw-up sound, and then says, "Excuse me, I've got to go to the infirmary."
My point is I think that's funny, and I don't care if my money goes in.
Well, so you don't mind paying taxes supporting a guy who flashes people?
Oh, don't tell me he flashes people.
Well, I'm just wondering where.
I don't know, if I really care if he flashes people is my point.
Well, I want to know where you draw the line.
Are you saying the president?
Your other point was about Methuselah, him being he made this remark.
Billy Graham.
Billy Graham is very old, and do you know who Methuselah is?
I don't know. It's a porn actress. Yeah. It's a porn star, isn't he?
So Methuselah is in the Bible, and Methuselah was the oldest man in the Bible. That was his comment, I don't know.
Wasn't he the guy in the porn movies?
No, that was some
other... Well, you know what? I don't know if you're watching the porn movies, but I don't think President Bush is, honestly.
Do you think it's right for him to use invisible ink to sign United States documents?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Do you think it's right for him to use invisible ink to sign his name to treaties this country's committing to internationally?
Whatever he
Well, that's bullcrap.
He was reelected.
All right, I just want to know where you draw the line. Do you think it's all right for the president to walk up to the Queen of England and pull her dress up over her head?
I just think
all right, see, she doesn't. This woman doesn't. You have no moral line to draw it at.
All right, okay, I got to take a break here. 1-800-449. She obviously knows that you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm telling you the truth.
Are you telling me the president walks into the war room with a fake arrow through his head?
I am saying I've seen him do similar things, yes.
All right, back with Herb Sewell, 1-800-449-8686. The President of the United States is not the devoutly religious guy we all think he is. In fact, he doesn't even like Christians. We'll be back with Herb and his book, The Bush Legacy, in a moment on The Phil Hendrie Show.
Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
Oh, Laura Bush wouldn't say crap if she had a mouthful of it.
The Phil Hendrie Show is back. 1-800-449-8686.
Well, you're saying the president's doing all these bad things by throwing fake dog poo onto the floor of the war room. people are ready to forgive him for that.
Well, it angers me because I think he's coming off as Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, and everybody thinks it's okay. But if I did the same thing, no one would forgive me if I'm throwing fake vomit onto tables. But the president does it, I guess it's okay. God almighty. Boy, the lies and the hypocrisy. The sheer hypocrisy of it I'd strangle on if I didn't have a children to support.
All right, let me go to a final call here. Faith, hi, Faith. Go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Hi there.
Hi.
My point is that I'm married to a very godly, wonderful Christian man, and I have two grown Christian sons, one who is a programming analyst and the other who owns his own business.
Well, what do you mean by Christian?
Grandsons.
What do you mean by Christian?
People that love God and know Him in a very close personal relationship.
Then I'll bet they don't throw fake dog poo onto tables.
Oh, they do. They burp and they fart and they have so much fun. Baloney.
That's not Christian.
Is very Christian.
Having fun is Christian, yes, but not playing with dew, not playing with dog's feces.
It's fake.
Well, she's laughing.
What's the big deal?
What are you laughing
at?
at?
What's the big deal?
You know how much?
It's so ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
Ma'am, my publisher has invested a lot of money in this book, and you and others like you who are planted by opposing publishers to make it sound like no one cares. That's what's pissing me off.
I'm beginning to doubt that it really is such a book. This has got to be a hoax because you are such a...
Oh, really? Do you think it's funny when a man is watching Passions of the Christ and he's farting and burping?
How do you know it?
Now I got you. Now I got you. Now I got you.
I want to know if you fart and burp.
Now I got you.
You tell me if you fart and burp.
So, in the middle of when Jesus is getting nailed to the cross, you sit there and belch.
Maybe it had a profound emotional effect on him, and that's what that causes sometimes. It's very healthy, actually, to fart and burp. You realize how much better it makes you feel?
Well, it's nice to know that if you were standing there at Calvary when they nailed Jesus to the cross, you would have lifted a leg, farted, and laughed. Thank you.
I think you blow it all out of proportion.
God heard me. See, now
No, you're just looking for something to be controversial about. Nobody gives a crap.
You think it'd be funny for President Bush to say?
This has got to be a call.
All right, let me ask you something. Do you think that it would be funny if President Bush tripped Billy Graham? I'll go to hell.
Oh, he hung up. She hung up too. Phil Hendrie Show.
The Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. Pure exhibitionism.
And now, Harvey Wireman Law Talk with Harvey Wireman. Mr. Wireman is a 50-year veteran of the legal profession. He studied at the U.S. Bar while a member of the Marine Corps and has been involved in some of the biggest cases, criminal and otherwise, in U.S. legal history. Mr. Wireman is now working pro bono for the ACLU. Here is Phil Hendrie and Harvey Wireman. And welcome to Harvey Wireman Law Talk. How are you, Harvey?
I'm doing remarkably well. I just went in today. I had my third series of tests, and the doctor says everything's clear. Isn't that great?
That is great. I don't know. What did you have wrong with you?
Well, you don't want me to go into it, do you?
No.
But the doctor says it's all cleaned out, everything's clear, and it's moving through. It's all coming out pure now.
That's great, man.
What?
Just never mind.
You know something? You better get down on your knees and pray to the God of your parents' choice you never get old. How about that?
All right, can we do this?
Do what?
Can we do this Terry Chavo case, man?
Oh, okay, yeah. This is Harvey Wireman Law Talk. Now, I don't have my reading glasses, but
every time you don't have your reading glasses...
Don't worry about it. I just don't have my reading glasses, but I've got these bifocals here. The prescription's a little old. Let's talk right now, Phil. I am Harvey Wireman. Welcome to Harvey Wireman's Law Talk. Let's talk right now about the Terry
Chavo?
Terry Schenkel?
Terry Chavo.
Terry Chavo. Yeah, let's call it. Now, this is an interesting case. The Pine Boy County... Pinellas County Circuit Judge George Greer. He heard an emergency motion. This is fascinating. In Clearwater on Friday. Now, a ruling was expected on Saturday about keeping Terry Bradshaw and
Terry Chavo.
What did I say?
Terry Bradshaw.
Ain't he dead?
Terry Schiavo.
Terry Schiavo. Well, what am I...
Well, the bifocals ain't working, obviously.
Don't raise your voice to me. Yes, they are. I don't have them on properly. Let me just readjust them on my nose. All right, this is a fascinating case. Larry Schneider has been laying in a comatose state.
What do you mean, Larry Schneider? Who's he?
The woman that is sick.
Larry is the woman's name.
Oh, I mean Terry Schneider.
Terry Schiavo.
Terry Schiavo, that's correct. Thank you, Phil.
You're welcome.
Now, the parents' latest appeal, which opened with the sentence, "This is a mercy-killing case," asked the court to order the Florida whorehouse.
Hospice. Good God.
Oh, hospice. Where Mary Showboat lives, to be the...
Schiavo! Give me that!
You yell at me, I'm a Marine.
What? Mary Showboat, Larry Schneider.
Let me readjust the bifocals.
Here, let me readjust them for you.
Thank you. The information that was presented last night to the federal judge in Tampon was very...
Tampa!
Oh. Was very strong, and we're encouraged... Why would a town name itself after a feminine name?
It isn't. It's named Tampa. It's always been named Tampa.
And we're encouraging these appellate judges, where they believe the appeal, to make a right decision. Bob Schneider? Bob Scooby.
Bob Schindler.
Bob Schindler?
Schindler!
You mean the guy that helped out the Jews?
Bob Schindler. Ain't had nothing to do with Oscar Schindler.
We've had some of the best legal minds in the country working on this case, said the U.S. District Judge James Whittemore, for a second time ruled in this very, very emotional case of Barry Schiffel. You and I...
Give me that stuff and get out of here, will you, please?
I'm Harvey Wireman. God, could I use some Cuddy on the rocks.
Harvey Wireman Law Talk. Brought to you by Legal Aid and Napa Auto Parts. Harvey Wireman Law Talk appears once a week on these stations.
Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
I would rather put my eyes out than a stick from a tree than look at you.
1-800-449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
David Hall joins us. Yes, David, go ahead.
Phil, we've got breaking news, and I know that Bob Bacon has been looking at this, and we've got some other people in the field, but we have confirmed at least part of this story. And this comes at the 11th hour, if you will, Phil. Terry Schiavo has apparently spoken.
Wait a minute. In what sense?
Well, apparently she spoke words that could be understood, words that could be obviously communicated, and people understood what she was saying. She's speaking. Doctors say she does appear to be lucid.
What did she say? She's speaking? This woman who has been comatose for so long?
Apparently, this happens, a spontaneous remission of this kind of thing. If you've read the newspapers and read the internet lately, there's a story of the lady that came out of a coma 20 years. And
I did see that story.
Well, this is remarkable, and it couldn't be more dramatic. Apparently, she sat up in bed and said, "Anybody got a corned beef sandwich?"
That's pretty good, Mr. Hall.
What do you think, Phil? Oh, come on. Don't pout.
What a baby.
What do you mean I got breaking news?
Just screwing around.
You're just messing around.
Hey, Bud, do me a favor, will you? Get out of here.
You better leave, Bud. He might hit you.
Oh, I am always on with Mr. Hall.
Get out of there, Bud. What's the matter with you?
What do you mean, what's the matter with me, man? I'm sitting here on the air. You come on with, hey, Terry Schiavo sat up in bed and said, anybody got a corned beef sandwich?
Yeah.
funny. Jesus, don't you? All of a sudden now you're upset about that, huh? You know what's really upsetting you? I know it's upsetting.
No, what do you mean all of a sudden I'm upsetting about that?
Oh, you're the only guy that can put people on, is that it?
Well, you told me that you had breaking news.
You know what's really bugging you? I know what's bugging you. The fact that Gene Simmons has got a cartoon on Nickelodeon and your animated project didn't go anywhere. Ain't that bugging you?
I didn't even know about it.
Bull crap. You didn't hear about Gene Simmons getting a cartoon?
The guy from Kiss?
Yeah. No, the actor from the 40s, the female. Yes, the guy from Kiss.
I didn't know he had a cartoon on Nickelodeon, no.
Yeah, how do you like that? A guy who spits blood and had sex with thousands of women gets a cartoon on a kid's channel, and you can't get one on Fox. Boy, either yours must have stunk to high heaven, or Simmons goes both ways, depending upon which executive is in the room at the time.
It's pretty good, Mr. Hall.
Thank you, bud.
He told you to get out of here.
That's probably what's bugging you, huh?
I didn't even know that guy had a cartoon. More power to him. Good for him. Doesn't matter to me. I just don't like somebody calling up and saying, she sat up in bed and had a corned beef sandwich.
Well, you're the schmuck that believed it. I bet you there wasn't anybody out there believing when I said Terry Schiavo has spoken. What's the matter with you anyway?
Nothing, man. This whole Schiavo business has got me creeped out, man.
Why?
Because that last guest.
What'd she say?
She said, what if Terry Schiavo comes back to life after she dies and, haunts people?
Yeah?
Yeah, like a zombie or something? Goes after her husband, Michael, for pulling the tube on her?
Holy Jesus, that'd be scary. Coming into the room with a head all bent back, going like something like, Michael.
I ain't thinking about that. I'm thinking about how utterly tragic the story is, not about how it'll make a good horror movie.
Michael. Anybody got a corned beef sandwich?
Get out of here. Sorry about that, folks.
That was funny.
And everything you're saying about that.
Well, look, you could say what you want about Carrot Top, but that guy does a box office business.
Okay, we're on the air right now. Harvey Wireman joins us. It's time for a little bit of law talk.
Why don't you let your audience know what we're talking about?
Well, I mean, you're telling me you think Carrot Top is where it's at, and I'm not saying that I don't think. I'm not trying to put the guy down.
Look, let me explain something to you and all of you with feet entertainers that think you got the world by the short and curlies. Number one, Carrot Top is rolling in the dough. That guy's got a tour bus and a big, a trailer full of props and garbage that he brings. He's got that Verizon wireless account. Carrot Top, for better or for worse, Mr. Hendrie, is what the American public is consuming these days. And you sit there and try to put, excuse me, I've got a wad of, it's either phlegm or there's still some Philly cheesesteak stuck in my throat.
Oh, well, maybe you should have swallowed it.
Well, be careful who you say that to. But I will tell you this.
No, look at Harvey. I don't want to talk about Carrot Top anymore, but Carrot Top, you're right. You're absolutely right. Whatever that cat's doing, he's doing it right. And
well, what, you don't think he's funny, is that it?
I ain't seen the guy's act, to be honest with you. I can't even really say whether I think he's funny or not. I've seen him on those wireless commercials. I mean, whatever it is.
That's the telephone company.
Yeah. And the guy's kind of freaky looking. I mean, he looks like a chick, doesn't he? Like a big, ugly chick. But
well, you can get into the personal comments.
No, I don't mean to be personal. No, whatever he's doing it well, and you're right.
Yeah, that the whole thing, you ought to figure out what it is Carrot Top's doing and do that instead of all this garbage that you're doing.
Thank you very much for that.
Well, I don't mean to put you down, Phil. You're a good kid, but Jesus H, living, sweet, feathery, nailed to a piece of pine Christ. When you gotta get it.
I'll take that under advisement. Now let's talk about law talk.
All right. Tonight on Law Talk, Phil, I want to discuss with young people listening the reality of our penal system and the reality of our laws, what we call the codification of law, whether it is a statute, which is a state law, or a federal law. most states have a law against breaking and entering. And, in fact, all states have laws against breaking and entering.
I was going to say, there must be.
Yes. And there is even a federal law against breaking and entering. And the reason why there's a federal law is because federally regulated facilities. And that brings me to the point that I have to bring up tonight to not only yourself, but to a great many of your listeners, including very young ones, that if you look specifically at the law as it is written, Santa Claus, the man we know as Santa Claus, is guilty of serial felony breaking and entering. That is, going into homes that are locked. And
wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Let me finish.
No, wait just a minute. Yeah, because I got you on that one.
Oh, you got me on this one?
Yes, I do. Santa Claus is invited into those homes.
Well, how do you know that?
How do I know that? Because because they leave out cookies. Because
well, let me explain something to you, Mr. Hendrie. Because I'm an attorney, and I spent the better part of 50 years as an attorney. I was trained in the military. I worked as a military, what we used to call a JAG. And
all right, get to the point, will you please?
All right, my point is this, Mr. Brain Surgeon. Leaving out milk and cookies doesn't mean you've been invited into a home.
Well, how do you know that he's breaking and entering?
Excuse me, but don't you lock your door at night?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, man, but doing your voice. I mean, I've got a little bit of a cold.
Yes.
Yes, I lock my door at night.
All right, Santa Claus is breaking and entering. He's going into homes with locked doors.
The guy's invited in.
How do you know? And don't give me that milk and cookie line, and don't give me that crap about how they leave the milk and cookies up on the roof so the kids can go up the next morning and see reindeer turds. Because that won't fly with me either.
In other words, if the door is locked...
If the door is locked, you can't go in. So Santa Claus is guilty of felony, serial breaking and entering. And as such, should be put away. Now, we have home invasions all over the country where people are murdered, brutally raped, beaten within an inch of their lives, tied up, robbed, and yet this man is allowed to brazenly break into a home and leave stuff.
Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
You are at a farm, right?
Yes. What's unusual about that?
About a month ago, I talked to my program director, David G. Hall, who, when I have a cold, sounds a lot like you, and he was at a farm.
We go to the same farm.
What kind of a farm is it?
That's really none of your concern.
See, I asked him, I said, what were you doing at the farm? And he said, I'm relaxing.
That's right.
And that's why you go there?
Yes, I go here to relax.
And yet you don't want to tell me what kind of a farm it is?
It's a farm. It's a petting zoo.
It's a petting zoo?
Yes. You going to call me some kind of a freak now? Is that it? You want to try to intimate that I have some sort of a biblical knowledge of an animal? Is that what you want to do? You want to go down that road? I can do that. I can file legal briefs. I can tie your ass up in a courtroom for slander and libel.
All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Wyman. I didn't mean to go there, all right? All right, so Santa Claus ought to be in jail for breaking and entering. How do we solve this problem?
Well...
what about the fact he comes down the chimney?
He doesn't come down a chimney, for God's sake. But there's a lot of houses that don't have chimneys. He walks through the door. I'm telling you, the only way to solve the problem is for people to leave their doors unlocked at night.
And what if the wrong guy comes in, like a burglar?
Well, as we used to say in the Army, that's tough cookies. You know what? You roll the dice, you take your chances. Either you
Yeah?
Either you wake up in the morning with presents under the tree, or you wake up in the morning rubbing your rear end.
All right, get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Here, little sheepy. Here, look.
Yeah, get rid of this freak. What a sick animal.
feeding the goats and the wee little pigs.
Anyway, that's Harvey Wireman. Law Talk will be back next week. If you have any questions on legal matters, you can certainly listen to Harvey Wireman. And if you little kids out there, if you're a little kid and you're listening to the show right now, shame on you. And shame on your parents for letting you listen to this show. I'm a father. I have 4 children. And even my kids are not allowed to listen to this program past a certain time of night. And if I were your daddy, I'd spank you. Now, I don't believe in that kind of corporal punishment. But you know what I would do? There'd be no TV. There would be no video games. There'd be no computers until you went crying to your mother. And then we would give it all back, and there'd be no punishment at all. If it's anything like at my house. Best of the Phil Hendrie Show CD, 2004. Got Harvey Wireman on the line. Harvey, where you at?
Yeah.
Harvey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm right here, Phil. How are you doing?
Good. Where you at?
I'm over where I'm at. I'm at the Cadillac dealership. They got to replace the whole bottom end of this thing.
What happened?
Well, they don't ever, they don't tell you there's a parking brick in front of your car. You park it, and I took off, and there was a parking brick, and I ripped the whole oil pan and almost pulled the axle off. I'm telling you, I'm an attorney, and I ought to, for being an attorney, I sure don't sue people enough. Because the jackball JASS, or JACKASS, that put the parking brick there, and then I drive over it and rip the ass end of my car out. And
why would you spell ASS and then just say the word?
I'll tell you why, because I am angry at the fact that I got the whole butt end of my car torn off by a sack of dung that put a parking brick in front of my car.
What do you think, they put it there while you were parked? I mean, it's there.
What is?
The parking brick, man, that keeps your car from rolling forward. Do you think they put it there while you were in the store?
Boy, you really don't know your law, do you, mister?
What law, man?
I'm just telling you that I hit the gas because I knew I wanted to get home and TiVo a movie called Gacy about John Wayne Gacy. I'm interested in the case, so I got out of the store. I had a bag of apples and some cheese, and I said, "Oh, Jesus H, I've got to go home and TiVo Gacy." So I floored it. And as I floored it, the parking brick, which, yes, they put there after I went in the store. So what do you think of that? Rips the whole horse's ass end of my Cadillac. My Cadillac.
Well, I can tell you, man, they don't put the
Well, what do you know about where they put and why a parking brick is placed?
Because I'm pretty sure they put them there when they first make the parking lot, and then they're always there. So anyway, you called up about Mothers Against Illegal Aliens?
Yeah, I just turned the TV on tonight, and I saw Mothers Against Illegal Aliens. Have you heard about that?
I think I've heard about them, yeah.
You know what drives me ape is put the word mother in front of anything, and suddenly it becomes, oh, well, I can't criticize it. See where I'm going with this? You understand what I mean?
Like what?
Well, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving was started by a woman whose kid was killed.
By what? The kid was killed how?
By a drunk driver.
All right, so in other words, it pertains.
Yes. Why was she...
Well, don't yell at me. I'm just telling you.
Do you think the drunk driving was something to be admired?
It wasn't a big deal until the mothers got a hold of it. Now, all of a sudden, a guy can't have 2 pops. I can't go down and ask for a guy to let me stomp a few brain cells and maybe drive my car 300 yards to get to my house. And if I take out a trash can, so what? But put the name Mother in front of it, and all of a sudden, I'm a degenerate. I'm the guy that kidnapped Lindbergh's baby. I'm the guy that did Sharon Tate. Because I had a couple of pops, all right, stomped a few brain cells, took out a guy's trash can, and now she wants to put me in jail.
Look, at drunk driving kills people.
Drunk driving, Phil. We don't know what drunk driving did, and we'll never know what it did. Mothers Against Drunk Driving have made it I'm not saying drunk driving's good, but when you say mothers are against it, now you can't even say, now a man can't stand up and say, well, wait a minute, is drunk driving all that bad?
You mean you would, huh?
What?
You'd stand up and say, drunk driving, it's not so bad, but I can't say anything about it because it's mothers.
That's right. It's like the same thing with this illegal alien thing. How do I know whether it's right or wrong? But now they got an organization, Mothers Against Illegal Alien. Now I can't say diddly squat. Now I can't say jack squat because there's a woman there with way too much time on her hands. And by the way, some of these,
you're eating too much cheese, man.
Who?
You.
Why?
Because the cheese blocks you up, and,
That's why I got the apples, genius. Don't you love a guy like this?
Oh, I see. It loosens you. So, in other words, you eat the cheese to block up, and...
No, I eat the cheese because I like it. Hey, Phil, why don't you start an organization called Mothers Against Cheese? That way it'll turn... If you eat cheese, then you're a member of the Nazi Party. You see it?
So your point is that once mothers get a hold of any issue, they make what could have been something completely innocuous into an evil.
You got it. Bingo. Give the man a big, fat, thick cigar. That's exactly right.
And drunk driving could have been...
No, I'm not saying drunk driving was good. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying we'll never know.
We'll never know, dude, if you're drunk and you're driving and...
Yeah, haven't you ever been drunk and you got home okay?
I'm not commenting.
Why, you loser.
Why don't you comment? Have you been drunk and you got home safely?
Just about every Friday night. What do you think of that, huh? You got a big snappy comeback for that? The point I'm trying to make, Phil, is when these mothers put their name in front of something, we'll never know the truth about that thing. It might be good, it might be bad. But once they get a hold of it, everyone is now sentimentalized into the point of dumb. Our brains are paralyzed by mothers. They do more to paralyze the thinking of people than any other single group of individuals. Give you another example. Ain't they got what's it called? Mothers Against, there's got to be a Mothers Against something that is good, I know. Mothers Against Strippers. Have they got that yet? Yeah, you laugh.
No, man, they don't have it yet.
Well, they will. And when they do, kiss goodbye what you've been doing every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night for the last 6 years of your life.
Yeah, bull crap. Tell you what, man, when's your caddy going to be done?
I have no idea. I brought it in here, and hey, Eric, when's it going to be done?
Hey, throw the whole bottom end on it, thing. This is where I'm going to tell you about it.
Don't give me a song and dance. When is it done?
Well, I'm going to give you a loaner.
You can give me a loaner. Want to give me a loaner? Hold on for a minute, Phil.
Uh-huh.
Give me a loaner. I don't want one that's got the name of your crap can business written across the back of it like I'm advertising. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm trying to get paid.
You did what?
I'm trying to get
I don't care where you... Just get me a loaner. No, I don't want to go to Enterprise. Get me a loaner off the lot here. Yeah, that little one. I'll take that.
Are you done?
Hold on for a minute. What? Thank God you guys are open 24 hours, too. Okay, Phil.
All right, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done, okay? Just remember, Mothers Against Strippers and Mothers Against Masturbation, that's...
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Wait a minute, don't you have...
Yeah, something that's long held in great high esteem. Mothers are against it? What? They do have a group called Mothers Against Illegal Aliens. That's kind of a wild name, isn't it? Mothers Against Illegal... So others illegal aliens are a threat to mothers and whatever mothers are interested in? That means kids. So you're basically saying illegal aliens are a threat to kids now? Is this what you're telling me?
1-800-449-8686.
Well, what are the series? Are you on the Futon Critic?
Yes, I am. I'm looking at what the pilot orders are.
Now, pilot orders are the shows that NBC has ordered. They're pilots, but they want to see what the show looks like.
Yeah, that doesn't mean... You should get Frank Gray.
Well, Frank's asleep. He's...
Yeah, I know what he is. He's been drinking. He's probably been drinking. All right, here's the... they got a lot of comedies. NBC ordered a comedy pilot called Twee.
Spell it.
It's the number 2 and the number 0.
20.
I can't see without 20 good. Yeah. 20 good. Yeah.
20 good. Yeah. How you spell that?
YEARS.
20 good year. That's a comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy. Then they're ordering another pilot. It's called Alpha Mom, and it stars Alexandra Lee.
How do you spell it?
Lee.
Lee.
Okay. And Johnny, get a load of this guy's name, Johnny Sneed. Johnny Sneed.
How do you spell it?
Sneed.
Oh, it is Sneed.
That's what I said.
Well, I don't know, man. You can't pronounce Lee, Alexandra Lee. Then you got Twee is 20.
Just let me read the list here, okay? All right, so that's the Alpha Mom is another comedy. Andy Baba. And that's a comedy.
Andy Baba.
Yeah, Andy Baba P.I. And that stars Amy Funking.
Spell it.
Farrington.
Farrington.
All right.
What is Andy Baba spelled what?
Barker.
Barker.
All right. And,
does it ever occur to you how much you're butchering this?
I told you that the bifocals I ordered I had to send back to Sears because...
Wait a minute.
What?
Are you getting your glasses at Sears?
I've been doing it for 30 years.
Wait, are you going to an ophthalmologist or are you going to an optometrist?
Well, get a load of you with the $20 words. What are you talking about?
I'm asking you a question. Are you going to an ophthalmologist or an optometrist?
What's the difference?
The difference is one's a doctor and the other guy ain't.
Well, the guy I'm going to is a doctor.
They ain't got an ophthalmologist at Sears. They got an optometrist.
Go ahead. Why don't you spell that?
I don't know how to spell it, but I can tell you that guy's not a doctor. I got nothing against optometrists, but those guys can't prescribe. They don't know what's wrong with your eyes.
I've been going to Sears and I get my eyes. What are you telling me?
I'm telling you got to go to a doctor, man, to look at your freaking eyes. You might have glaucoma for all I know. Andy Baba.
Don't worry about it, huh? All right, now they're developing another comedy pilot, and this one's called Friday Night Lights. And
what's it about?
Well, it focuses on high school football, and the Dillon Panthers...
That's from the movie. It's a drama.
Oh. Well, I thought it was... And here's this is a drama, and here's a drama. Okay, you want to know comedies. Alternative. Here's one called Bully. And it stars Josh Fleabag.
Josh Fleabag.
Flitter.
Flitter.
All right. And it's about, there's been a famous child prodigy, that's the name of the show, in history, but there has never been someone like 9-year-old Hendrie Tammer.
Spell it.
Tammer.
Right.
He's a child Guinness.
Spell it.
Genius.
Genius.
With a knack. Okay, for intimidation. And that's all they say, so there you go.
Well, so they got some comedies in development.
Which means you guys are even closer to the edge. Yesterday, not knowing that NBC had comedies in development, I'd say you guys were at least napping near a cliff. Today, you've awakened, stretched, and you're walking, thinking that the bathroom is in that direction, and it's actually death on the rocks below.
Oh, man. Thanks for putting it that way.
Well, I'm just trying to give you the heads up on what I'm seeing here.
Well, I looked at the ratings. The ones that I got are not exact. It says a 2-1, but I don't know if that's the target demo.
Oh, who gives a sweet you-know-what, the target demo? Let me tell you something, friend.
I don't know what the target demo is. I saw what the other guys did, and they did a 2-3. We did a 2-1. I don't know what our target is.
I'll tell you what your target is. Your target is getting home alive tonight. You should make that your target. Always challenging the CHP to it, the CPA, the CHP to it.
Oh, shut up. Yeah, see, so NBC's got plenty of stuff in the offing, man. They got comedies up the yin-yang. They got the whole thing. They don't need our show. See, I like to be fatalistic about this, thinking that God will feel pity for me and then actually pick the show up, but I know it's not true. I'm feeling fatalistic about this, so I won't be disappointed when they say, oh yeah, and by the way, teachers, on the R.C. Collins Blow-O-Meter, a cross between sharp cheddar cheese and a ham on rye. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.
Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686.
it's time for Senior Chat with Harvey Wireman. I'm Milkbone, and I'm Harvey's announcer.
Thank you, Milkbone, and you stick around, because I've got I'll need help going to the bathroom later on.
Okay, Mr. Wireman.
All right, welcome to Senior Chat, and I love this music, by the way, Milkbone, because it reminds me of when my wife Terry and I went to the leper colony in Molokai, and we had our picture taken with the head leper, and we've got some wonderful color shots from over there. Okay.
Mr. Wireman?
Oh. All right, here is our topic for today on Senior Chat. How bad have you, because of advancing age, screwed up the sleeping arrangements for your family when they visit you at Christmas? All of you folks out there that have grandchildren and so on and so forth, and on the one hand and the other, how bad when you have then you insist on them staying at your house where you don't have enough bedrooms? How bad have you screwed up the sleeping arrangements? Now, our prize today is an all-expenses-paid trip to Italy for one to visit the Leaning Tower of Pisa and, of course, the Colosseum. Please be advised that airfare is not included, nor are the meals of the hotel. Ground transportation will be provided in Italy at your expense. So this is great. And let's get on the phone right now. And who I got here? Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Hello, Harvey. We had last Christmas, I've got my daughter and her husband, my two daughters and their husbands, and their 4 children. And
who has the 4 children? Because it sounds like all 4 of them had 4 kids.
Oh, like a communal deal.
Yeah, like they're living like hippies or something.
Oh, no.
Sounds like you got what I've got. I've got a perennial cheese inflammation.
Yeah, that's right. The doctor told me that I've got to lay off dairy because he said that there's a whole, you're right, a whole yogurt factory going on in my lungs. No, last year we had my daughter and her husband, and then my other daughter and her husband, and they both have 4 kids.
So that's 8 kids.
8 kids, yeah. And, of course, we only got 2 bedrooms, but we insisted they stay here. So I had my one daughter with her husband, and I had them sleep out on the lawn in the backyard. Then I had the other daughter and her husband, and I put them up on the roof for some reason. I don't know why. And then we took the kids, and we made them stay at someone else's house. So I butchered that 6 ways to sunset.
Boy, that's you didn't even stay at your house.
No, I didn't know what I was doing. Because I'm basically senile.
All right. Let's go to Marjorie. Maybe she can top that. Hello, Marjorie.
Hi, Harvey. We've got a niece and a nephew, and that's it. And we've got a 12-bedroom home. We're very wealthy.
Yeah?
And they didn't even visit. That's how bad. I had them stay in another city.
All right, great. And let's go to Bill. Bill?
Hey, Harvey, how are you?
Great.
How's the cold?
It's getting better.
Yeah? Do you ever try that Vicks Vapor Rub?
Oh, yeah, I do that, too.
Now, what you need to do is boil some wine and put some red-hot peppers in there, too.
Yeah, I will do it. What about this, Bill? How badly have you screwed up the sleeping arrangements at your house for your kids?
Come again?
How bad have you screwed up the sleeping arrangements at your home when your kids visit?
What? Say that again?
I said, how bad do you sleep at your home when you screw up the arrangements for your kids?
Just one more time.
How bad do you stay at home when you're sleeping with someone else and the arrangements have been made?
Well, I'll tell you that. Thank you for asking. I tell you, I just always want to make sure that everyone's comfortable. So what I do is when the kids come over, I'll say, all right, now you, Sarah, and you, Bill, you sleep in the back bedroom. Then Timmy, Tyler, Huxley, Joey, and Jimmy, they'll all sleep in the bed with Grandma and me. Then we'll put Mary and Bob under our bed. Then I like to put Tom and Terry because, you know, they're always going at it. They're like a couple of animals. So I always stick them in a tree house, and I build it special for them. Then I burn the whole house down with everyone in it, and then I'm committed for several years. And that's happened with a variety of wives and offspring.
All right. Well, what about the question, how bad do you feel when your sleeping arrangements are interrupted by Christmas?
Well, I'll tell you. What I've always liked to do is make sure that everyone is comfortable.
Oh, we're out of time. All right.
Well, we'll have to give away the all-expenses-paid trip to Italy that you've got to pay for next week. By the way, we'll also have a question for you next week. And our question next week is going to be, I love this one. Have you been able to figure out that GD electric coffee grinder and all of the this and that? Or do you still drink Nescafe out of a styrofoam cup? I'm Harvey Wireman. And, what'd you want to say, Johnny? Just one more call.
Yeah, I live in a refrigerator box, and my kids come over for the holidays and then run me over with an SUV.
All right, that's great. You still don't win, though.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. And we'll see you next week on Senior Chat. Harvey Wireman Senior Chat. I'm Milkbone.
How do I get out of this GD thing anyway?
Where's the bathroom? It's right over here, Mr. Wyman. Brought to you by the people at Depends. There you go. There's